welcome back to the show. Here we are on Monday. We're here to talk all things DCU and otherwise, but of course, what we always usually start off with is the news. Obviously, we're going to be talking about box office. Not a very exciting box office because, you know, Mario and Project Hail Mary are still dominating, so not much to say about that, but we will be getting into it. And then, of course, we have MCU Weekly next. We're going to be talking about mainly the future of I almost said DC, the future of Marvel right now, mainly, like, upcoming shows, like, you know, Daredevil, what the future of Deadpool is going to be, what the future of Moon Knight is going to be, what the future of X-Men is going to be, and then, of course, Doomsday. And, you know, as well as Marvel's stupidity of getting their workers laid off, so we'll get into that. And then, of course, Movie Talk Madness, only a little bit, mainly about Christopher Nolan's The Odyssey, which is going to be shorter than Oppenheimer. Well, we'll have to talk about it. And then we are going to be getting into quick hits, as we usually do, lots of quick hits. And then DCU Daily, big DCU Daily, because of course yesterday was Superman Day, or 2 days ago was Superman Day, sorry. My days are a little confused right now, but it was recently Superman Day, so we're going to be talking about that, as well as a lot of stuff going on in the comics right now. The Clayface movie got a little bit of a tease, and then Supergirl as well. And then a bit of Batman 2 news. We possibly got a casting for Christopher Dent, the, you know, role that nobody wanted. Well, we finally maybe got someone. We'll have to talk about it. And then Superman, not just Superman Day, but a little bit of Man of Tomorrow news. So all of that and more after this wonderful intro to tell us all we are Knuff.
It doesn't seem to matter what I do. I'm always the number two.
All right, mister, I need to paint my abs on to get nominated. You don't see Robert Downey doing that.
You're kidding.
You're
kidding. I can't open the envelope without the...
Warner Brothers is heading back into the Matrix with a new movie in the works.
Wonder what other surprises are in store.
I want to be Bruce Wayne.
I like that. You're gonna love me.
There's the shot, right there. That.
Okay, we don't need to see Cole's.
Right there.
You look ridiculous.
Well, not no more, he don't.
What, dude? I can barely understand you. Your accent's insane.
What the needs now?
Give me a hand up. Nope, I'm actually okay. Thank you very much. Oh, wow. Wow.
Hello, welcome to the show. I am your host, John. Lovely to see you guys. I hope you guys have had a wonderful, wonderful weekend, because I have. Mostly sleeping late, but, you know, I still got some stuff done and still had some worthwhile stuff to talk about. So, yeah, we are going to be getting into all of that. Dan is going to be in a minute. Just he's finishing up some stuff right now, so don't worry, we'll be including him very soon. But unfortunately, once in a while on the show, we do have to get into some rather sad news. And the first bit of sad news, well, we have not one but two deaths today in the Hollywood world. The first is Patrick Muldoon of Starship Troopers and Melrose Place. He has passed away at the age of 57. So I don't think we really know anything about it. I believe, okay, so it was of a heart attack. When I was reading about it before, they didn't show anything, but I guess now it's revealed that he passed away of a heart attack. Always sad to see. You know, we here at Oh So Curious always mourns the death of someone who went before their time. I'm not really as familiar with this actor. I'm sure he was talented. I'm sure he was a great person, and I'm sure he had a lot of great credits to his name. But always sad to see someone passed away, unfortunately, at 57. Is not very old. Usually when it's before 70, it's truly not very old, but may he rest in peace. I hope his family is finding peace right now and can get through the death, as well as they can. So, apologies for the sad news, but Patrick Muldoon, may he rest in peace. Unfortunately, he is not the only death that we have to talk about right now, but Riff Hutton, who was in Doogie Howser, MD, and Jag, he has passed away at the age of 73. He was also a voice actor, a looper, and an ADR artist, with credits spanning from Shrek to Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. Again, even though I did watch Doogie Howser, I'm not really familiar with Riff Hutton all that much. But again, this is just another case. So, it's always sad to see. He, still, like both of these, actors, they had quite of a breadth of work that, it stinks to see. So, and these are the people that make the industry what it is today. All the underground people that you don't really know much or talk about. He did a lot of voice work, not like anything major. He did a lot of additional voices where, he could showcase his talents. So, sad to see. 73, it's a little bit older, still, a little bit of a longer, healthier life. Unfortunately, he did pass away of brain cancer. So hopefully, similar with Patrick Muldoon, hopefully his family has found peace in this tragic time and they can grieve properly. So rest in peace to Patrick Muldoon and Riff Hutton. Sorry that, you had to go this way, but that is, we can look back on their huge amount of work fondly. So there is that as well. But yeah, so now let's properly get into, Dan, he's a black screen, but he's there. Hello, hey. Black screen Dan, how are you?
I'm figuring it out. You guys can hear me at least, right?
We can hear you. It's just we cannot see you, unfortunately. But
you think darkness
we hear
is your
you.
Ally. I was
born in it, molded by it. I did not see the light until I was a man.
And then, by that time, what was it? And by then, it was nothing but blinding or something. Anyway, it's yeah. Oh, here we go.
There we go.
I saw the.
I don't know if it was your camera was just taking a while to load, but yeah.
I changed some stuff around. We're good. Okay, we had Monique in the chat earlier. 500 show, happy 500. Yeah, it is DCU Daily number 500. She's making Chuck steak green bean fries with your choice of dipping sauce. With our choice of dipping sauce? Oh, thank you, Monique. That is so generous of you. We actually have a Q&A session at the end of the show. I figured for our 500th episode, we do a little Q&A, and so I posted on the community section, and hope you guys had a few comments in there, so we'll try to bring those in. Hello, D. Cole. Hello, Jalen. Yeah, man, tomorrow we're going to get into that. We're going to get into all of that. Yeah, figure drawing, hello, and then yeah, 57 is not old at all, and hello to Steven as well. Black screen face. Okay, thank you. All right, well, we got Justin Geeky Guy dropping in to say hi. Also, Tom King is garbage. Thank you, Justin Geeky Guy, for your reminder there and the super chat. Dan and John, I guess Marvel is back at Comic-Con this July. I mean, they should be, right? Like, I'd imagine, John, that they would want to make a splash, considering the biggest movie in the history of the MCU was coming out at the end of the year. I bet you they'll try to roll out as many of the... I mean, if they could have Chris Evans and Robert Downey Jr. at CinemaCon, I bet you, like, the rest of the cast will show up in Comic-Con. So we'll see. But, Yeah, let's talk about the box office this weekend. And you saw The Mummy, which was a new movie at the box office, but The Mummy couldn't quite pass the muster when it came to opening up at the top of the box office. That, of course, the domination went to Super Mario and Hail Mary, Project Hail Mary, that is. Super Mario Galaxy. Let's take a look at the rankings, because, I mean, the Mummy came in only third, 13.5 million. Well, that's not a bad start, because
it really isn't.
Like worldwide, 34 million is not bad.
It's just that Project Hail Mary and Super Mario are powerhouses right now. So yeah, of course, an indie Blumhouse movie that sure is kind of an IP, but like not really. So like, yeah, of course it's not gonna do well against,
I mean, Super Mario Galaxy, for what it's worth, is about to hit 750 million worldwide. It's well on its way to $1 billion. So Super Mario Galaxy doing great things, and it had a better than expected 35 million domestic. And then when you add in the international number, altogether it actually brought in over 100 million. Again, Super Mario Galaxy.
Yeah, I mean, it's already made its money back. It's 34 million against a $22 million budget. yeah, I thought I really enjoyed it. It's not the greatest thing ever, but I enjoyed it for what it was. I don't think it's like as bad as people are making it out to be, like it's the next coming of Tom Cruise or whatever. It's not that bad. Nothing will ever be as bad as the Alex Kurtzman movie. Why? Because it's Alex Kurtzman, and that man has never made anything good in the history of Hollywood. So, there's that.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, it's this makes sense to me. Yeah, yeah, Lee Cronin's The Mummy was gonna overtake Mario and Project Hail Mary. Yeah, sure, okay.
Well, no, I mean, but like you said though, it's still a pretty good opening. 34 million is nothing to scoff at, considering that it's not meant to be a movie that is anywhere near in scale to Super Mario Galaxy and Project Hail Mary. Do we have a number for Project Hail Mary? What that one did? I know Mother Mary also was out. Speaking of Mary,
the fucking movie nobody cares about.
And
so Mario, that's as you said, 747.5 globally. And then you're gonna have Michael next week.
Michael coming. Devil Wears
falling
Prada,
only 15% in its fifth weekend to an estimated 20.4 million for a domestic cum of
that's huge.
28.5 million or 285 million, and a staggering 573 globally.
Now, so it's very Project Hail Mary now is less than 50 million away from Superman's box office, and it's looking like it's gonna beat Superman's box office, probably catch up to even F1's box office. And you look at 20.4 million, 15% drop from last weekend in its fifth weekend is really amazing. That's great. I mean, Michael will probably move it down the ladder a little bit, but I bet you Project Hail Mary is still in the top 5 next week. Like, I can't see it falling out of there. But yeah, I mean, for the Mummy to have 34 million with a $22 million budget, that's a good opening. It's making back a good chunk of its budget, at least, not all of it. And then, given a few more weeks time, hopefully we'll be able to make back what they spent on marketing, which I can't imagine is anywhere close to what the Amazon MGM spent on Project Hail Mary or Universal did on Super Mario Galaxy. And then Justin Geeky Guy saying, if you haven't seen Project Hail Mary, what are you doing with your life? That's right. It's so amazing. You have to go see it. Thumbs down. I mean, thumbs up. Definitely go see it. Okay, Justin Geeky Guy, you and I both have tickets to an early screening of Michael this Wednesday. So
I didn't go. I'm not seeing an early screening of it, but I'm going to be seeing it Saturday with my folks. So I have a busy weekend, a very busy weekend ahead of me. So
same here. I'm sure all of us.
I have
stuff
3 movies
this Wednesday
for the entire weekend. Very exciting.
Wow. Okay. Which ones are you going to be seeing this, Michael? And then which other 2 are you going to see this week?
Evil Dead on Friday, and then I am seeing the Silence of the Lambs on Sunday.
Is that like a re-release? It's coming back.
Yep, both Evil Dead. Not Evil Dead Burn. That's coming out in July.
Right.
But The Evil Dead, it's the 45th anniversary, and then I believe Silence of the Lambs is the 35th anniversary, so I'll be seeing those. And then there was another movie I wanted to see. I might be seeing Exit 8. I think that's based on a video game. My friend saw it. He said it was very good. So I might see that on Monday. I'm not too sure yet, but we'll see.
Yeah. Well, we'll like you said, we'll see how it turns out. And Michael will talk about on Wednesday because I have seen it. I'll do a spoiler-free review so that if you get, because it's an early screening.
Guess what? Michael Jackson dies. That's what happens. Sorry, guys.
Well, I don't think that's how the
Spoiler!
movie ends. Based on what we know, that's not how the movie ends, at least. But hey,
No,
you know what?
I'm just kidding. That's like
we'll talk about it.
It's his life. What's gonna spoil, right?
Yeah.
Guess what, guys? His dad was an asshole. Crazy.
Well, John, we got to get to the next part of the show, which, of course, is MCU Weekly. Walk us through some of these stories. There's a lot to talk about today, not only for DC, but
I mean,
also
as I said,
Marvel.
It's all about the future. It's all about nothing happening right now, but it's definitely, the future of Daredevil Born Again. He confirmed season 3 return as wild rumor teases Bullseye's MCU future. I don't want your future. Remember that scene that James McAvoy overacted in X-Men Days of Future Past? Good times. Anyway, but while we wait and see how that pans out, Bethel confirmed during a recent interview that he'll return for season 3, revealing, "I haven't started shooting yet, but I will soon." Well, I think, I think there's some cool stuff in the works for the new season in that regard. I won't spoil anything, but yeah, more decks to come. That E is doing a lot of work there. So, I think, this is cool to see. I mean, from what I've heard, Bullseye is pretty fucking ruthless in Daredevil Born Again Season 2, so, yeah, I mean, even though I haven't seen this specific version of Season 3, in the original show, he was so good. He was definitely a fucking phenomenal casting, so, yeah, indeed, enterprising, marvelous.
Yeah, so we know that they're gonna be. It looks like this is just the beginning. Like this TV Hell's Kitchen, part of the MCU is only gonna keep on growing. They're trying to now. I mean, they got the same guy who ran the shows on Netflix back. I mean, it seems like Kevin Feige's like, you got the budget and you've got the permission to do everything you maybe couldn't even do on Netflix. So I'm just glad. And hello to Enterprising, of course. This season, Bullseye has been very, very involved. Is all I'll say. But otherwise we'll get into a long conversation about it. But yeah, it looks like he's not going anywhere anytime soon. So that's awesome. Let's keep going, shall we?
Yes. Next up, we got some Moon Knight. Oscar Isaac reveals his main condition for MCU return in Midnight Suns, whether that's happening or not. There was something I really liked about Mohammed Diab. I love the movie he made before Cairo 678. It's an incredible movie. I just thought, wow, this guy's got a really interesting point of view. I had never heard of Moon Knight before, but I love what it was trying to do, and I saw an opportunity. This is something that Willem Dafoe said to me one time. I asked him, how do you pick stuff, man? Is it the director? Is it the script? What do you look for? He just said, I look for space. Is there space to do something? If it's just deliver this thing, no, I don't want to just deliver something. I want space to create something. In Moon Knight, I saw a lot of space to really take it seriously and look into what it's like to experience dissociative identity disorder, DID. There was an opportunity to do something special with it. There was the impetus for my decision to do it. Pushed on what his MCU future could look like amid continued speculations and rumors about a Midnight Suns movie. Yeah, there was an interesting conversation about Midnight Suns. It's tonally very important because we're playing with real stuff in that one. It's expressing something very real, challenging, and difficult. So for me, I have a lot of respect for that. I feel like if you're going to do it, you have to take it really seriously, even though it's a crazy comic book. That's what it's trying to do. It's trying both of those things at once. When it was mentioned Ryan Gosling remains a fan favorite pick for the Ghost Rider, Isaac replied, make it happen, fellas. So, yeah, Apparently there has been a conversation about Midnight Suns. I just think it's a really interesting idea. Again, try to do what like the DCU promised us, but has not really delivered on all that much, of like getting all these different genres of different demographics into superhero stuff. Like Midnight Suns would be an action horror fantasy movie. Boom. That's awesome. That isn't really done a ton. So do something like that. And then get all like the weird supernatural characters that either can't get a movie off the ground, Blade, or are these really small characters that can't really helm a big movie like Moon Knight. Get Ghost Rider in there. Hell, get both versions of Ghost Rider. Doctor Strange, maybe they can incorporate that, ideas for Doctor Strange 3 if they want to do that but can't get off the ground because of other projects. Then just bring him in there and then like do all these weird like characters and make that work, and then have them like fight like a Mephisto. Sacha Baron Cohen, he'd probably come back for the right paycheck, so why not?
I mean, he probably has a multi-picture deal. I don't think he was just in what was Ironheart for just.
He was in Ironheart.
Yeah, but I don't think he was. I bet you he didn't sign up for just the one appearance.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. Maybe he's interested. Maybe he's not. But I think that it's just like Midnight Suns is just a really cool idea that I want to see more Moon Knight, even though I would prefer like the more visceral and brutal version, like the comic. Moon Knight is just one of those very interesting characters to me that, like, again, it's different. He's different. And since for some reason they can't figure out Blade, again, guy who kills vampires is really difficult for Marvel for some reason. Is like, all right, make it an ensemble. Like they clearly are doing. I mean, literally 2 out of 3 movies from last year are ensemble movies. They were Thunderbolts and Fantastic Four. And then, you have Avengers Doomsday, you have the Avengers sub-franchise coming back. So it's like, clearly they like their ensemble pieces, so it's like, fuck it. If you can't make Blade work,
it's like the opposite of what DC and Marvel were doing 10 years ago, right? Like DC couldn't stop doing crossovers in the DCEU, and Marvel was very judicious, and things have sort of flipped these days, it seems like. But I mean, what I like about what Oscar Isaac was saying, I mean, he also talked about in this interview the whole thing with the rise of Skywalker, and then how the somehow Palpatine return was something that came out of a reshoot for the film, and he didn't think it was going to be such a big deal, but obviously it's become what it is. I like that he is very adamant that, like the DID was a big part of what drew him to the role, and you don't want that to, give way. Like basically he doesn't want to have it, that aspect of the character be marginalized in favor of like big action and big adventure and supernatural elements without the grounding in character that Moon Knight had, which I thought like those aspects like of the character were mixed really well with the more fantastical, mystical, magical elements of the show. Like that's one of the things that Moon Knight did really well, and I feel like Oscar Isaac is like one of the few actors talented enough to sort of play like essentially 4 different characters throughout the course of the show. Because we saw the latest iteration of his character emerge towards the end, and Ethan Hawke's character isn't really dead, right? So or at least not confirmed dead, so I wouldn't mind seeing where they take the show. I mean, we have and Wonder Man's getting a second season, by the way, figure drawing, so we did get Wonder Man. I feel like now that they've done what they have with Wonder Man, they could kind of revisit some of these other characters and find ways to integrate them, whether you give Moon Knight another season, or I don't know, find
give Ms. Marvel another season, since that's the best performing Disney Plus show, and Aman Vellani is fucking based, so like fucking give her more shit. Goddamn.
Yep, I would love to. Dude, I can't wait to see more of her. I feel like the only reason why they might not be doing that is because they're probably thinking about having her lead off like either in Young Avengers or whatever they're gonna call that movie.
Champions, whatever the fuck it's gonna be called.
Yeah. But yeah. I would love to see Moon Knight back. Moon Knight was a character that and we did reviews for the entire show. If you guys want to go see it, there's a playlist of Moon Knight reviews where we reviewed every episode for the show. And if there is another season, I would love to do that again. It was a lot of fun watching it week to week, especially because it was like, peak Disney Plus television at the time, where the show made you guess what was going to happen next, and there were good, nice reveals and stuff. It was one of the shows that actually worked in that format. And then, everything kind of came crashing down not too long after that. So, and obviously Marvel TV works differently now. So anyway, but yeah, let's keep on going, John. We got more Marvel talk to get into. Of course, Deadpool. We can't. The X-Men are a big part of the upcoming Avengers movies. So how can we not talk about Deadpool? What's Ryan Reynolds up to these days? Because it's not the first time he's mentioned what he's doing with Deadpool, right?
Yeah, it's it seems like maybe starting with Deadpool and Wolverine, maybe starting even with Deadpool 2, because it feels like Deadpool has always been ensemble since Deadpool 2, because Deadpool 2, yeah, he did have some stuff, but he was also like X-Force. You had him and the fucking, annoying kid from Hunt for the Wilder People. You had Domino. You had, Cable, even though he was kind of the villain. And then you had the whole X-Force thing. All that. So you kind of had that with Deadpool 2. Then you had Deadpool and Wolverine, which was a duo. Also kind of an ensemble. So there was that as well. So it seems like we're not going to get like a quote-unquote solo Deadpool movie like the first one. And I do kind of agree with him that he's better at working against people. Sorry. So he's better at working off of people. So yeah, I think this is definitely a this is I think that works. I mean, he's the mark with the mouth, right? Let him use the mouth.
Yeah, I was gonna say there's
work against people.
Yeah, if you scroll down on the article, so I wanted to kind of read off what he was saying, and this is so he did a new interview on Sunday Today, and if you could zoom into this, he's mentioned before in passing that he's working on a fourth Deadpool movie, that he would be writing it, and if you zoom in, I can kind of go through the quote that Ryan Reynolds gave us from this recent interview, where he was saying that I have some stuff kind of written, but I don't think I'm ever going to center him again as in Deadpool, as like the main character, in a movie about Deadpool. So, or at least Ryan Reynolds' iteration of Deadpool. And he said he is, as in Deadpool is a supporting character, he's a guy who is great in a group. And then if you scroll down a little bit, John, also what Ryan Reynolds mentioned is, like, he's talked about this before too, just this idea that, and this is like probably going back as far as 2 years ago or so, where he was saying, look, Deadpool works great as an outsider. Like, his goal is to join the X-Men or the Avengers, right? Because that was his deal the first couple of movies. He wanted to be in the X-Men. He made like the whole parody of the X-Men, the X-Force. It was, the way they did in the second movie. And then in the third movie, it's all about, I'm going to go to Disney and join the Avengers. And so for Ryan Reynolds, he's like, if Deadpool ends up being a part of one of those two teams, then the character has no narrative thrust to him anymore, because he's achieved the goal that he has had. Like, that's the ultimate destination that he sees for Deadpool. So, it's kind of like that thing of, like throughout the course of Friends, like Ross and Rachel were always like on and off, but like when they finally like got married, the show was done. Obviously, the writers wrote it that way so that, they're like, all right, if the show is ending, we gotta like give these guys happily ever afters or whatever. But I think that's what Ryan Reynolds looks at with Deadpool, and he's like, look, the fourth Deadpool movie, great, but this Deadpool movie is, probably not going to focus on just Wade Wilson by himself. He'll probably be in like a big, like you said, John, like maybe like another like maybe we could get something that's more of a riff on X-Force, or going back in that direction, or a new direction, or maybe he just shows up in these big team up movies. But definitely not a solo Deadpool film, which is a little unfortunate. I don't know, like, John, I feel like we only really got one true solo Deadpool movie, because even like that second one had so much of Cable and the other characters that it didn't really feel like a proper solo Deadpool film. And then the third one obviously was not really a solo film. the farthest thing from it, probably of all three of them. Do you think it's a bad thing that we won't get another solo Deadpool, or would you have liked to see
I
more?
don't think that's a bad thing. No, I
Okay.
don't. I mean, whatever works best for the character. I think, whatever they do, in fact, decide to do, I think we'll be getting good Deadpool material. Just don't bring fucking Wolverine back, you bitch. Goddamn.
Okay. All right. Well, that's not the only X-Men we got to talk about, because moving on from that, we have to talk about, the main team, especially in the MCU. Recently, Jake Schreier has been talking about, like, he's knees deep working on the next X-Men movie. We even have a writer now. And we have talked about all kinds of rumors about casting. But there was another, like, report going around. Take it with a grain of salt, because this one comes to us from the Cosmic Circus. But John, do you want to walk us through some of the details?
Yeah.
Because it does look like this lines up a little bit with what we've been hearing recently. So I don't know if it's a matter of, like, three people are saying the same thing, it's more likely to be true, or this still seems very high level, but we have some more details about what the MCU X-Men will look like when we ultimately see them.
I think this is sort of a too good to be true situation, because I think people have really wanted it to be the original 5 X-Men and then have it grow, have them grow over the course of, several years. Wolverine is not going to be a part of it. Thank fucking God. Like, that's, nobody wants to, they either, because it's essentially either Hugh Jackman or not at all. And you need many, many years to fucking get away from Hugh Jackman. I know the whole till he's 90 thing, I get it, but we just need to kind of, move on from that, and I think you need to give people time, and that's what, like, Logan fucking tried to do, and then Ryan Reynolds ruined everything. So, we, there was this, like, idea of just let Wolverine just retire, die, whatever. So, just leave that be, because I feel like just people are not going to move on from Hugh Jackman as well as they, like, no matter who is going to take that role, even though Jared Keeso seems to be born to play Wolverine at this point. But I think people are still just way, way, way too attached to Hugh Jackman. Just don't have him at all. Don't have Logan at all, Wolverine at all, unless you do X-23 as Wolverine, which is a whole nother can of worms, because then you're going to have the assholes, sexists, that are going to be like, oh, why is Wolverine a girl now? I'm like, even though that fucking makes sense. And yeah, so, I don't know, it's just, I would like this, and because of that, it's too good to be true, and because of that, it's probably not going to be the case.
So to kind of to reiterate what the article actually said about the X-Men themselves, they were talking about, we're gonna get the 5 core members and then the 3 potential additions to that. That could include X-23, like you said, John. But the big thing, like you were talking about, that the Cosmic Circus is mentioning, is the fact that more likely than not, Wolverine is not getting recast past Secret Wars, that they'll stick with Hugh Jackman coming back in some capacity, and then when he doesn't want to do it anymore, if they don't see an opportunity for that, the passing the baton will lead to Daphne Keane playing X-23 and continuing to play X-23 like we have seen her before, which I'm perfully fine with.
Yeah,
like
no,
said,
I don't mind it. I
like
think that would be great.
Hi Eric, by the way. I also don't mind seeing Hugh Jackman around, and as long as I don't know again how the continuity is going to change, obviously, with the MCU at post Secret Wars, and what that means for characters like Hugh Jackman's Wolverine. It's still, kind of wishy-washy. These are rumors and it coming from some, sometimes reliable, sometimes not so sources. So keeping that in mind, yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how things, because for all we know, Marvel could change their minds, and by this time next year, and Wolverine gets killed off. Like, they haven't even started shooting Secret Wars, and then they'll probably do some reshoots like they're doing for Doomsday this year. So things could still change. Like, for example, John, we all know and the story about how Iron Man was not supposed to die at the end of Avengers Endgame, and then they went back and did some reshoots to the point where what they shot, they shot it with RDJ just separately doing what he did, like the whole I Am Iron Man. It wasn't even with anybody else on set. And then, so it's like that stuff was added in pretty late in the game. So, things change in Marvel. So, but I would like to see, that whole X-23 storyline if they're going to go in that direction. I guess it's like better than, I don't know, probably many other possibilities. If you're not doing a fresh start, then you could certainly do a lot worse. And Daphne Keane seems to be very eager to continue in the role if she was given the opportunity. This would still be the biggest role of her career, and one that she probably thought was not going to lead to anything else after Logan. So, I would love to see it. But yeah, the X-Men, we'll see. Hopefully in a couple of years or maybe this time next year, maybe at Comic-Con next year, we might get a little preview at X-Men, because at that point they'll not only be talking about Secret Wars, but maybe what comes after Secret Wars as well, especially if the story of X-Men in the MCU is kind of detached from the events of Secret Wars. They can probably promote them simultaneously. So we'll see. But until then, we got to talk about Doomsday, and we got to talk about Avengers Endgame, because the big news. Well, we should, because over the weekend there was some big news, because there was I forget the name of the festival where the Russo brothers popped up. I think it's in this article, but they were doing an interview, and if you scroll down, we could talk about what this said. This is significant because obviously they've done a bunch of interviews. They were at the Sands Film Festival at St Andrews, Scotland. So they were on the other side of the pond in St Andrews, Scotland. And Joe Russo specifically was at Sands Film Festival. And after doing a bunch of interviews around CinemaCon, he was speaking to the press there, and he told Deadline that with regards to Avengers Endgame's re-release, which happens September 25th this year, which will be the kickoff of the whole Infinity Vision thing that they're doing, that Avengers Endgame re-release is apparently a lot more significant than we realized, because it's not just any given day kind of a re-release. According to Joe Russo, it's critically important to re-release the movie. And in fact, he said we'll be re-releasing the film with footage that is set in the Doomsday story that we have added to Avengers Endgame. And then he went on to say it's an opportunity to create a bridge from Endgame to Doomsday in a very unique way. And because the movie was so successful, we have an opportunity to re-release it. You don't always get the chance to re-release because it costs money. So the fact that we can enhance the story of Doomsday by bridging it to Endgame and these characters that we worked with for years that we love so much and continue their story, it's a really unique opportunity. Now, Joe Russo also went on to describe Avengers Endgame's re-release as a critical companion story and a setup for what you're gonna watch in December when you see Avengers Doomsday. Now, if you go to the next article quick, because I just want to kind of lay the groundwork before we actually talk about this. Then later in the day, this happened over the weekend, and then earlier today, if you scroll down, there was a rumor from My Time to Shine, and again, take this with a grain of salt. They were saying that there's a possibility that Avengers Endgame's re-release will add a new post-credit scene that Avengers Endgame, of course, originally did not have any post-credit scenes. And that post-credit scene is going to tease Doomsday. Now, of course, you take that in concert with what Joe Russo said, which is also here on screen, that they're going to be adding in new footage. His exact wording was re-releasing Avengers Endgame with footage that is set in the Doomsday story that we have added to Avengers Endgame. So, John, calling it a critical companion, story, calling it, new footage that they're adding in that connects the dots between the two, bridging the gap or whatever, bridging the story. I want to ask you a question, because to me, I had two sets of reactions to this, and I'm kind of trying to figure out which way I'm leaning, because I've kind of gone back and forth. And it's worth talking about, because for one, by doing this, Avengers Endgame is being recontextualized to obviously, kind of like what I bet you they originally did not have the Thunderbolts, one of the post-credit scenes, be the tease for Avengers Doomsday, because the Russo brothers shot that stuff and they got added in pretty late, in the game before Fantastic Four got released. So similar to what happened there, I mean, even more egregious than that, because here, on one hand, I'm wondering if by doing this, by making Avengers Endgame somehow a critical companion story to Avengers Doomsday, you're sort of minimizing or telling the audience that everything that has happened and come out in between those two Avengers movies doesn't really matter so much, because if you only watched Endgame, you'll mostly understand what's going to happen here. That is a problem for me. I feel like that doesn't make any sense. Or
Yeah.
maybe what they're just doing is they're like, look, it's just going to recontextualize the story of like Steve Rogers a little bit, maybe something to do with Tony Stark or whatever the case might be, because obviously the Fantastic Four are in the movie, the Thunderbolts, New Avengers are in there, so it's not like those characters don't count, like, because Sam Wilson's Captain America's in there and blah blah blah. So I don't know. I feel like kind of weird because this isn't something that has happened before, and I'd imagine they're gonna put it on Disney Plus as well, probably not too long after the re-release, because it's not gonna. I don't think they want people to get confused, because if you didn't go to see the re-release, that you're missing some scene, and it's probably gonna end up online. But so I'm not so worried about that people won't get to access it. I'm more worried about what it means thematically for everything that Marvel has been doing the last, I don't know, 6-7 years since Endgame, because it does it spit in the face of MCU post Endgame, because they're just like, fuck all that, we're just gonna move on to Avengers Doomsday, and as long as those two are connected, you don't need to know anything else. That just, it's like a retcon, right? Like, I don't know, what do you think about this?
I just think, like, it would be a really fucking stupid move to have, like, a really crucial, important thing be tacked on the end of a re-release of another movie. Because then, like, if you don't have this crucial piece of information, well, then you can't understand fucking Doomsday. That's dumb to me. I think this is just a way of them saying, like, hey, if you want a little bit extra of something to know for Doomsday, then cool, great. Here's this thing. And at the end of the day, it's just a way to make more money. Because it's like, it's just to get the super nerds that, like, we're like, oh, maybe I'll go see the release, maybe I won't. Well, the Russos are like, well, we have this post-credit scene, like, jingling keys in front of your face. Like, ooh, we have this thing. And it's like, oh my god, I have to see the thing. I have to see the thing before Doomsday, so let me go see the fucking re-release. Here's my money, Marvel. Here's my firstborn child, Russos. So, there you go. That's all it is. It's a way for them to make more money, and Kevin Feige hoping that they are now the highest grossing movie of all time over Avatar, even though the next Avatar re-release is going to make them, and it's just going to be a tennis battle for the rest of our lives between on what's going to be the highest grossing movie ever made. So, it's just a way to make more money. That's all it is. It's not going to be crucial. It's just going to be a bit of extra information in regards to, I think it's just like retconning stuff so that Kang isn't the case and it's Doom. So I think that's all it is. It's just to set up Doom because, like, they fucked up with Kang. So,
Yeah. I mean, like, I think what you're saying makes a lot of sense in the context of they want to hype up this Avengers Endgame re-release so that people go and see it and they sell tickets, like you said, because it could very easily make enough money to become the #1 movie of all time again. Like, for example, Spider-Verse No Way Home made like a ton of money when they did a re-release later in the same year that it came out, and added a bunch of scenes that were deleted in the original theatrical cut, and that made a ton of money. So I can only imagine Avengers Endgame would probably, especially with the idea of, oh, you're going to get to see new footage. I bet a lot of people. So this seems like it's a marketing thing. Like you said, I really do hope they don't include anything in this that's going to be so critical that, because if you're calling it a critical companion story, there's one of two ways to look at it. Either A, that you actually need to see whatever they have in there that's new footage, and they're not telling you what that footage is, because if it could just simply be the post-credit scene that My Time to Shine was talking about. Or it could be that they might add a scene here and there during the course of the movie. So if you're watching the movie, I mean, unless you know somebody who went to see it, you don't really know what to expect. Hey, M2G. And yeah, exactly. What we're talking about, what you're saying in the chat, M2G, is the idea that if they were to, like, because again, there's two ways. One, you either put in something that is so critical that if you don't see it, it kind of, some things don't make sense. At least where they begin, and you might catch on to what the story is generally in Avengers Doomsday, but some key piece of information might be missing. That is problematic. Or they're just kind of talking it up like the talked up Captain Marvel. Because ultimately, John, you did not need to see the Captain Marvel to understand how she fit into Avengers Endgame, right? I mean, obviously it gave you a better idea of how powerful her character is, but I don't
and
know,
then
like
she
a
gets
lot of people
yeeted
were
out of the
caught
movie
on.
and doesn't come back.
It's
so
but like honestly, it wasn't as essential as they made it out to be at the end of Avengers Infinity War. So it could just be that they're doing, because again, that was the Russo brothers. They could just be doing that again here. Or I hope that if it is like new footage and scenes interspersed throughout the movie, or a post-credit scene, that ends up on Disney Plus, like, you know, Enterprising was saying, or, you know, and MTG was saying, the idea that it shouldn't just, I mean, maybe after a week or two of the re-release, because these re-releases don't last more than a couple of weeks, right? In most instances, they're only there for a week or two. So it's not like it's going to be playing in Avengers Endgame is going to be playing in theaters from September 25th all the way till Doomsday comes out. So whoever doesn't get to see it in theaters, I hope they put that version on Disney Plus, or those scenes out on YouTube or wherever, so people can catch on, because it will be something that, you know, a lot of people will probably want to get a hold of. I bet you it will get leaked anyway. So yeah, it's a little tricky, because on you know, the initial reaction for me was, on one level, like, it's problematic because either you're trying to sell more tickets and do it cheaply, or you're creating a problem where fans already have enough to keep up with. And I don't know, like, I don't want to miss any key piece of information just because they didn't go to see a re-release of a movie that's 7 years old. So anyway, you guys let us know what you think about that. Obviously, Avengers Doomsday gonna be big this year, and recontextualizing Endgame, what effects does it have on the rest of the MCU? That's going to be the question. So, but hey, you know what? The effect on the rest of the MCU, speaking of, Marvel had, well, not Marvel, Disney recently had a bunch of layoffs. I think there were up to 1,000 people that got laid off, including pretty much the entirety of Marvel's visual development team. And that included, of course, the director of visual development, Andy Park, who worked at Marvel for the better part of 2 decades. And John, that just, to me, kind of felt like a really odd decision, because if you scroll down in this article, Andy Park sort of posted about this, and I just want to kind of read off what he said, and then we'll take a look at some of the photos he posted as well later. But he said, look, it's the end of an era, and this was just him sort of posting about his time at Marvel and Disney, talking about it. He was there from the beginning, literally, of a unique team that broke the mold of Hollywood and helped the studio gross over $30 billion that the Marvel studio has grossed. And he said that he was there for over 16 years, spanning over 40 films and shows, 15 of which he led as a director of visual development and visual development supervisor. And he got to lead, work with, and hire the best artists in the entertainment business. It has been the honor of a lifetime to be a part of the team that helped create the visual language of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, Andy Park said. And then he went on to say, I couldn't be more prouder to have been part of the entire history of this department. As I wrap up my final months here, I'm looking forward to the creative freedom of a fresh start. I'm eager to bring my perspective and leadership to new challenges. To those I've worked with before and those I've yet to meet, I'm looking forward to the conversations ahead. And obviously it's not just him, right? It's been a baffling decision for most people, not only just the internet, but within the industry, that Disney just laid off pretty much the entire visual development department, including Andy. And these guys have been a huge part of, again, the visual design language of the MCU. From, you know, how they plan out and previs some of the most iconic fight sequences and shots that they recreate, comic book panels, come to life moments that are all mapped out sometimes years before they hire a director or even a screenwriter for a project. And that's something that Marvel has been really good at, which has been a part of how they've been able to keep these, you know, disparate movies and stories all connected. Not always to the best effect, but that's a pretty critical piece. And essentially what they're going to do now that they've laid off pretty much the whole department, is they're going to hire freelancers on a, you know, as needed basis. And that's the kind of thing where you know, the continuity wouldn't be the same, because if you're somebody like Andy, who was there for the better part of 2 decades, you knew what came before, you were well versed in it, and that helped you make informed decisions about what comes next. Like in his post, if you go scroll down, he's posted a bunch of photos, and he also talked about how, the costumes in the MCU, John, and I just wanted to take a look at the photos that he posted here in the article. The costumes that they do for all these Marvel heroes, there's a process that they go about where they want to give us these comic accurate costumes, and then they want to, kind of see where that things go from there. Because in some instances, like with Scarlet Witch, we didn't really get to see Scarlet Witch look like herself from the comics up until WandaVision, because it just didn't make sense. She was just a a Sokovian in the early movies, and other characters like that. Anyway, Andy started working with Avengers, Captain America, the first Avenger. So we got a very comic booky Captain America costume, and then it evolved from there. Those decisions and the designs came from this visual development team, and then the directors kind of, worked with them to refine the look of it. Now these people are all gone, and they might be brought back in a per project basis and freelance basis, but again, the continuity is not the same. It kind of, I don't know, John, what do you think about all this? Because it kind of changes maybe the look of Marvel overall too, as we move forward, or at least the consistency won't be there.
Maybe that's like, I mean, I hate that Andy Park lost his job, and I hope he moves on to bigger and better things. And with that, I think, I hope he has a job waiting for him somewhere else. I hope he, has enough money to, live properly and okay and all that stuff. But maybe the lack of consistency will be a good thing, like maybe because they won't be consistent, not every movie will feel repetitive or the same over and over and over again visually, because I think that's one of the big things as to why the MCU has been kind of not dying, but like people are like, it's getting kind of stale. Now, do I think firing this guy was, oh my god, now the movies are going to be the greatest thing ever, this guy fucking sucked? No, I'm not saying that at all. I'm just saying, like, let's look on the bright side of things. Is it a shame that he lost his job? Yes, it's a shame that he lost his job. He was fired over most likely insanely bullshit reasons, since, but it is what it is. This is corporate America. Nobody gives a fuck about you or your job. You could literally be the architect of the biggest fucking movie studio of all time, garnering $30 billion, and you still don't matter. So, that's just how it is. So just remember, don't take job stuff too seriously, and remember to have a life outside of that. Side tangent. But even then, it's kind of like there's a balance to it all. It's like, I hope that he lives comfortably. I hope if he has a family, that family lives comfortably. I hope he finds another job. I hope that the best things happen to this guy, because, architect of biggest franchise of all time. So there's that. There's also the fact that maybe getting in fresh blood, getting in somebody new, having them like take normal bathroom breaks and giving them the budget of more than $2 and a ham sandwich, and like actually giving them time for the VFX to look good, then maybe this will be a proper new beginning, and we'll maybe start to get maybe a different visual style for these movies that won't feel the same and repetitive over and over again. So, yeah, I'm trying to look on the brighter side of things, but I don't want this, like, what I'm saying to feel like, yeah, fuck this guy, I'm glad he lost his job. Not saying that at all. I just want this guy to be okay, like how I want everybody to be okay. I'm an optimistic fellow. I want everyone who is worth it and innocent, and, all the good things happen to them and whatnot. But at the same time, looking at it from a, what I've noticed as a fan, what other people have noticed as fans, we're getting kind of this repetitive visual style, and a lot of people have been complaining about the special effects. I don't think it's it's definitely not his fault. It's the fault of, churning these fucking things out by assembly line. But maybe, like, getting fresh blood in there will maybe hopefully give us something a little bit more worthwhile to be looking at in the future. That's what I want Marvel to succeed. I want DC to succeed, and want them to be churning out great movies until, we inevitably get nuked. But, like, that's neither here nor there. But yeah, that's just my thoughts on it all.
Yeah, I hope we don't get nuked. That would be terrible news. But anyway, well, hopefully, like you said, looking on the bright, as bright a side as any could be when you're talking about people getting laid off, maybe it leads to innovation on the creative side, even though, again, from a compensation standpoint, laying off full-timers to pay freelancers usually is not a very worker-friendly move by any business. It's meant to help the business more so than the people who are working for it. And that being said, hopefully, well, we'll see. My guess would be that this will have a big impact on, again, the visual design language in the MCU. Like, will probably not have the same level of consistency, which sometimes we take for granted. But it might just mean, like you said, John, that more directors will get to have more greater creative control over the look of those movies, and that criticism of Marvel has a house style may be less so of a concern moving forward. So we'll see how that all plays out. But in the meantime, let's talk about some movie talk madness, because we have a couple of things to get into. The first one I wanted to mention was the Odyssey. There was a new report. This is actually coming to us from Deadline, because over the course of CinemaCon week, Emma Thomas, who's the wife partner of President Christopher Nolan, not only a real life partner but also a producing partner, so she is the producer of pretty much all of Christopher Nolan's movies, including the Odyssey. She was talking, I think this comes to us from Deadline, about the where the Odyssey is in post-production, and obviously there's still work to be done. But one of the things she mentioned, if you scroll down a little bit here, in that Deadline interview, she mentioned that it's pretty much guaranteed that this movie, the Odyssey, is going to come in under 3 hours. Even though editing is not done yet, they don't have picture lock. It just looks like it's gonna be under 3 hours, and she was pretty confident about that, saying it's guaranteed. And well, does that mean it's gonna be like 3 hours on the dot, 2 hours 59 minutes? Because when you think about if you go to the next article for a moment, John, I wanted to point out something interesting here. Having worked with 70mm IMAX film, and those are like huge platters, there's actually an upper physical limit on what one, even if it's stitched together single IMAX reel going through a projector system can play out in a single showing, and that's 3 hours, basically 180 minutes worth. So that's the upper limit of what an IMAX movie in 70mm can be. And so that was literally what Oppenheimer ended up being. It was exactly 3 hours. So Christopher Nolan went right up to the edge in the limit of IMAX 70mm film. But it looks like with the Odyssey, they're going to be able to, do it in less than 3 hours. The question becomes, based on the book and the stories, there's so much to get through. I was watching another podcast earlier, and they're talking about, like, at CinemaCon, a producer mentioned that this movie, like, just it moves quick. There's the pacing of this is going to be like rapid, kind of like almost like The Dark Knight, where there'll be moments where we'll slow up, but then it just goes and you're just along for the ride. And most Christopher Nolan movies are over 2 hours, but the longest was Oppenheimer at 3 hours, which again seems to be the limit of 70mm IMAX, not the limit of what you can film, but in terms of projection. And Nolan, I remember reading an interview he did like last year, I think, when he wrapped on the Odyssey, and he said like the amount of footage they have in terms of like the number of feet that if you were to lay it out next to each other was longer than what they shot.
Just joined the chat.
Yeah. Well, what I'm saying is, Christopher Nolan mentioned that the amount of footage they got on reels from the Odyssey was longer than Oppenheimer, but it looks like by the time they're done editing it, it's gonna be actually, you know, shorter than Oppenheimer ended up being. I
I
mean,
think
what
that might
do
be
you think
Himesh
about this show?
Patel. I didn't realize
I
he
think
was
so.
in this.
Yeah. No, he is. He is. This is like his third Nolan movie after Inception and Tenet. So he was one of the last people to get cast. But what do you think about this? Because Emma Thomas pretty much said it's guaranteed to be under 3 hours.
But
He was in Inception. He was the driver. No, am I thinking of the wrong person?
I think that might be the wrong Indian guy, bro.
He's worked with him twice before.
Yeah, no, he's worked with him on it was Tenet. He worked with him on Tenet.
I'm gonna look this up. Anyway, so your thoughts on this, John? Oppenheimer.
Yeah,
was
I mean,
3 hours and this
whatever
movie is
Nolan
long.
wants to fucking make the, you know, length of the movie is fine with me. Could probably make a masterpiece in 2 minutes, so it's fine. We're good.
I don't think Nolan's going back to doing short films anytime soon. He did that back in the 90s. And you're right, Himesh Patel was only in Tenet, and I did think of the wrong Indian guy, which is...
Hey, I'm just glad I didn't say it. So
I know. Hey, I can get away with it. I mean, but the Odyssey, less than the 3 hours. So I guess it won't be as long as Oppenheimer. I will say so. The Oppenheimer's
it'll be
runtime...
2 hours and 59 minutes.
The Odyssey, Sir President Christopher Nolan, when you watch his movies, they're always I think other than maybe Dunkirk, every single one of his movies is incredibly well paced. And I don't really feel the time. Like even with Oppenheimer, you couldn't really feel the runtime much as you might.
You don't at all. You never felt that movie never once felt like 3 hours ever.
So yeah, and I bet you.
And
like,
it's people talking.
The Odyssey too.
That's the movie. Yeah. I know that's very an oversimplification, but it's just like it's not even like, oh, you got some action, you got some levity, you got the no. It's just people talking for 3 hours, and it's somehow the most fucking interesting thing on planet Earth. Like, god damn it, Nolan. What can't you do? Make a bad movie, apparently.
Well, you know, the scenes with Florence Pugh was definitely not just talking, but anywho,
I don't think anybody was complaining about that.
No, I don't think
well,
anybody
except
was.
for the douchebags in the Middle East who censored it because they're a bunch of pussies. So.
A very poor choice of words. Anyway. Filmology was saying Oppenheimer was boring for me, not gonna lie. That's okay. I mean, it's not for everybody. Not every movie's for everyone. It's completely fine. I enjoyed both that and Barbie. But yeah, let us know what you guys think about the Odyssey's running time. It looks like it's going to be under 3 hours. It's going to be less than Oppenheimer. And that's a guarantee coming from Emma Thomas, the producing partner and real-life partner of Sir President Christopher Nolan. So yeah, we'll move on from that. John, let's talk about Ti Amo, which of course is the first movie out the gates for Clockwork, the latest Warner Brothers label run by the former Neon marketing executive. And it looks like, paid a hefty sum to get the rights to Sean Baker's latest movie. In fact, they paid $22 million for global distribution rights to the film. That includes money it's going to be divided up between Film Nation, which is primarily financing the movie that Sean Baker is making. The budget is going to end up being around $10 million or so. But you know, even beyond that, so that $22 million includes the $10 million or so of the budget. It includes what Sean Baker is going to walk away with, whatever Film Nation is going to get back, obviously, and then some on top of their investment, and then other producing partners. So altogether, this is still going to end up being a probably like, I don't know, like $2-3 million payday for Sean Baker, which is a huge jump over anything else he's made before, because he's known for making movies on the real like low budgets, like truly indie movies. And then usually whatever he gets out of the movie, he puts right back in. He not only writes and directs his movies, he's also the producer and he edits his own movies. Of course, that's, you know, he won for Anora. And Ti Amo, this article, by the way, there's a lot of good detail in here, and I highly recommend you guys read this, because if you're an indie filmmaker, while this is a rarity, the path Sean Baker's on, it goes to show you that if, you know, this is a pathway to like going from making a movie for, I don't know, 5 or 6 figure budgets to, you know, getting to the point where you're being hired by Warner Brothers. Because what they mentioned here is not only did Ti Amo get a $22 million payday, including, so this is for the budget of the movie and, you know, what Sean Baker will get and what the financing partner of the movie itself will get. and it was part of a bidding war where another studio had bid up to $4 million just for U.S. distribution rights. But then it looks like for the first time in Sean Baker's career, one studio is going to be marketing, distributing, and doing the whole strategy around how they're going to package this movie for the audiences. In the past, it's always been like these different pieces. Sean Baker would take a movie to the festival circuit, and then a studio would pick it up. Not only that, John, this movie, Tiamo, was sold that $22 million they got on just the pitch. He hasn't finished writing the script yet. Not only that, but they're not expecting him to sign on an A-lister for this movie. There's no obligation to sign on an A-lister. Meaning, like, usually when indie movies get sold to a big studio, like, it's not just a pitch. You usually have a great script. You usually have at least a big actor. Or, I mean, Sean Baker is the only recognizable name in all of this. If you want to even call it a package, it's not really a package. But that goes to show you the draw that Sean Baker has now, because remember, he said he now co-owns the record for having won 4 Oscars in one night. The only other person to ever do that was Walt Disney himself, and from a couple of years ago. So yeah, I mean, Sean Baker kind of turning that into a huge, relatively speaking, obviously $22 million is chumps change in terms of Marvel movies and stuff like that, but that's the most he's ever getting paid. They mentioned something kind of clever in this. Him and his partner, they were like living in like West Palms, Hollywood, and when they were at the Oscars that year, when Honora won, in between the Oscars and the after party, they went home and walked their dogs and came back. It's just, in terms of just being like, they're normal people. They're not like Sir President Christopher Nolan, Martin Scorsese, or like those kind of big names who are not doing anything close to that. They're probably just like, I'm out. I'm doing the parties. I'm doing the shows, and somebody will take care of the dogs. No, Sean Baker is one of us, and in that sense, this new movie, by the way, if you scroll down, they do talk about what the movie's pitch is. I think it's set in the 60s or 70s. Oh, okay, there it is. So it's being described as an ode to the Italian sex comedies of the 60s and 70s. Now, obviously Warner Brothers announced that they won this at CinemaCon last week, and it's going to be through their, more indie-centric Clockwork production label, the new one that they just kicked off. Christian Parks, who was used to be the marketing head at Neon, runs it alongside a couple of other executives who were formerly A24 execs, to get this project, John, and pretty much all the details behind this, the financials of it. What do you make of this? Sean Baker getting probably the sweetest deal of his Hollywood filmmaking career, and is it earned? Because I mean, I feel like the man has earned it at this point, considering the success he's had in recent years.
Good for him.
I will say though, M2G, having Sean Baker be the selling point of this movie is even today, when you have directors like Nolan, Scorsese, Tarantino, Greta Gerwig, that's still like a handful of directors whose names carry some power with the audience. You still usually at the indie level, even for this movie, which is going to be produced for probably like $10 million, you need a big star to kind of help anchor your film. And Sean Baker, it looks like through this deal, he gets to keep making movies the way he wants to. He's not having to compromise, because usually what would happen is, if somebody like for example the Daniels, right, for Everything Everywhere All at Once, after they won that, their next big movie is with Universal. That's what they went on to do, and then they're gonna get a big payday from that, and then maybe they'll go do something indie for themselves.
Unfortunately, they couldn't get Ryan Gosling, but
Yeah, well, I mean, scheduling conflicts, but that's the path that Sean Baker usually would have taken. But like Sean Baker, obviously, he's a big proponent of theatrical movies. He's a big proponent of indie filmmaking. His whole speech at the Oscars was about that. It's like 3 or 4 of his speeches were about that night. And so yeah, not surprising. But it is rare that a director gets to keep doing things the way he wants to, and that way is not the way somebody usually would. That the path they would follow, and he usually would have just signed on with like Warner Brothers to make a movie for them, and then get somewhere. Like Christopher Nolan did that too, right? That's how he kind of got there. The Dark Knight trilogy was Nolan's way of doing one for Warner Brothers and then doing one for himself. So in between each of the Batman movies, he made The Prestige, Inception, and then Interstellar and all that. So it's rare to see this happening. So good luck to Sean Baker. I mean, we'll see how it all turns out. I know you're not the biggest fan of his work, but I think
I haven't seen any of his films, so I don't know.
As far as an indie filmmaker goes, though, I think that's
good for him. I mean, even though I think Conclave should have beat Anora, it doesn't mean I think like from what little I've seen of Anora is a bad movie or anything. I haven't seen Florida Project. I haven't seen Red Rocket. I haven't seen. I think he did one other movie. I think it was Tangerine was the other one he did. I haven't seen any of his work, so I don't know how good or bad he is. So, yeah, I mean, I'm sure he makes some great films. I just haven't gotten to that point yet. That's all.
Yeah. All right. Well, we'll leave Movie Talk Madness here for now. Let's get on to some quick hits. Then we got DCU Daily coming up. So I'm gonna hit that Bossa Nova elevator music for quick hits. Let's get through the quickest, Sean. What do we got today?
Good news for fans of Project Hail Mary. Andy Weir expands the universe with a brand new story. So yeah, we're gonna be getting a little bit more in regards to this.
This is like a new VR experience story of sorts. It sort of takes place, within the timeline of the movie, but it's like, an expanding a part of the movie that we probably didn't get to see. So it's not it's not like a deleted chapter of the book, or it's not something that's like a follow-up or a prequel to the movie. It talks about it's about, they call it Project Hail Mary Journey Among the Stars, and it's from a part of Ryland Grace's journey in space during the course of the movie. So it's just another way to enjoy Project Hail Mary, and it's a VR experience. It's something Andy Weir wrote personally, the story for it. So yeah, hopefully you guys get to enjoy. I'm gonna try to see if I can get my hands on this. I don't even have a VR headset. I might need to get one just to take part in whatever this story is meant to be. So yeah.
Next up, BBC buys high concept French sci-fi series The Sentinels. Which it definitely has like a steampunk kind of vibe to it a little bit.
Sort of a World War I Star
looks
Wars
cool.
Look.
Yeah, looks pretty cool.
Sentinel. I can't wait to see this. BBC buying a French series, cool. It kind of gives me the vibes of, there was the English-French collaboration in War of the Worlds show. That was an MCU.
Yeah, it's 1915 World War I French private Gabriel is presumed dead, selected for a top secret program. He's given a serum that makes him stronger and faster. To see his family again, he must join the Sentinels, elite soldiers on a mission to end the war. So essentially, it's Captain America, but slightly more realistic, and World War I instead of World War II. So, cool.
Nice. Cool. All right.
I'd watch it.
Seeing it. I would definitely watch it. I mean, I hope it's gonna end up on a streaming service in the US, because we don't get BBC iPlayer in the US. So
yeah. But next up, speaking of something on a streaming service, The Pit and season 2 with series high audience. The medical drama improved by more than 50% over season 1, and it's averaging 15.4 million viewers for the full season. And yeah, that makes sense to me, because The Pit, I watched like most of episode 1 of The Pit. And the show was good from what I saw. I just got busy with other stuff, so I haven't gotten back to it. But it's a good show from what I watched. So, yeah.
Yeah, I mean it's gonna be back. There's some casting changes happening for season 3, but this is the new model. I think everybody's chasing the Pit model now in Hollywood, because you get the best of both worlds. You get to make a show that you can release every year. The budget isn't like insanely high. And so financially it's viable, because obviously the viewers are there. It's kind of like, essentially it's this kind of thing that network television still does a lot of, but to do that, and kind of elevate it a little bit on a streaming service, it's the perfect, crossroads of everything that streaming services want today. So yeah. Anyway, let's keep going.
Next up, Netflix snaps up Jean-Claude Sarra's World War II. We're going World War I to World War II thriller Play Dead, starring Noah Jupe and Matthias Schweifer, who was in Army of the Dead, Army of Thieves, and Oppenheimer. And then you have Noah Jupe as well, who's been in the Quiet Place movies mainly. But yeah, this looks great. I think Jean-Claude Sarra is a good director. He definitely needs to, need to do better projects out after Woman in the Yard, which was not very good from what I've heard.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think this definitely looks very, very interesting.
Yeah. No, this sounds great. I mean, John Sarah, like you said, he needs to pick better movie ideas. But he's gone that route where he's doing a lot of like, movies for studios. So maybe this could be something that's more what he wants to do. So we'll see. Yeah.
Yeah. But next up, Russell Crowe shares images of his rock hard muscles from the Highlander set.
Ooh. Russell Crowe and
yeah.
rock hard muscles are two things that did not belong in the same conversation for quite some time. Can only be one. I mean, dude, we know Russell Crowe has been packing on a few pounds of late, so I'm glad that he's getting back in that, good shape, like that Man of Steel Jor-El shape. So yeah, good stuff.
Yeah, that Play Dead movie has a really good cast. It also has Patrick Gibson from Dexter Original Sin and Andreas Peichman from Dark. So that's pretty cool. Anyway,
nice.
But yeah, way to go, Russell Crowe, finally being in shape again. But not like that mattered because he was Gladiator. He could fucking get it. He's like, fine, I'll be fat for the rest of my career.
But,
I don't give a shit.
the Russell Crowe's jock strap, the famous, or the infamous. I don't know. Like we all know that story. So.
But next up, Toy Story 5 merch arrives. Mattel debuts high-tech toys and 16-inch Woody and Buzz figures. What? Poor choice of words.
16-inch Woody?
16-inch Woody? That's crazy, bro.
Woody and Buzz? Oh my god.
Yeah.
So does it come with batteries? Is that the idea? I don't know. Okay.
Maybe
it's rechargeable. I don't know.
But that's crazy work, bro. That is crazy work. So...
Come on, M2G. I'm sure it wasn't 100 effects, but anyway, maybe 10. But high-tech toys. I mean, obviously this movie's all about tablets and stuff, so it'll be interesting to see how it all plays.
Yeah. But next up, Wednesday, season 3, first look photo unveiled by Netflix from Paris with Dread. When season 3 comes out 10 years from now, good for them.
Actually, there's a photo. If you go down, there's a Wednesday's going to Paris, so we got a nice photo on Instagram, which is our first look at the new season. And they said, well, if you actually scroll down a little bit more, in what they say in the text, it says something like, no, from Paris with Dread. Yeah, looks nice. Is that a little hand prop? That's the hand from the show, right?
Yeah.
We can kind of see this is a behind the scenes look because there's obviously like a stick there. Well, don't cut off her head. There you go. Like it's yeah, that looks interesting. Okay, cool. I mean, this is one of Netflix's biggest shows, so, and of course it's got Catherine Zeta-Jones in it, so how can you not like it?
Yeah, I mean, yeah,
right, exactly. You
probably the
can't
most
say
perfect
else.
casting for Morticia Addams since Angelica Houston.
Woo!
Yeah. But next up, apparently we have Shogun season 2 in production. Apparently I'm under 18, guys. Sorry, can't show you this content. Whoopsie-daisies.
Wait, what is this about?
This is about Shogun season 2 in production.
So basically, yeah, they posted. Let me see if I can share. They posted a little.
I don't have Instagram, so it's like, oh, everybody who sees this is under 18. Where it's like, all right.
Can you switch to my screen? I think I have it up. Okay, there he goes. So, yeah, Shogun season 2 is now in production.
Oh my god, look at all this terrible footage that's all the kiddies can't see. Oh my god, they have robes.
Hiroyuki Sanada.
Clackboards. Oh my god. So scary. That's really protecting the kids there, Instagram. So.
Anyway, let's keep going. I can't wait for season 2. One of the best shows I've seen in a long time, and
speaking of one of the best things we've seen in a while, because this might be like the best video game adaptation we'll get in like ever. But Alex Garland's A24 video game movie reveals full cast, 2028 release date, and it's being shot for IMAX, which is fucking awesome. Thing is, I've never played Elden Ring. I've heard it's a great game. It's just not my thing, but I'd fucking watch Alex Garland's movie of it because, damn, bro, that sounds pretty fucking awesome.
So I mean, they just added a few cast members, but essentially, the movie's gonna focus on Kit Connor, who used to be in Heartstopper. He's going to be now there's confirmed that he's in the movie, and then surrounding him, it's going to include Ben Vishaw, Kaylee Spaney, Tom Burke, who was in Furiosa, Havana Rose Liu, who was in Tuner and Bottoms, and then they just added Sonoya Mizuno, who was in Ex Machina, and she's worked with Garland before, and I think it was a TV show on Hulu as well that had Nick Offerman as well. And then of course you had Jonathan Pryce in there, who was in The Crown, Ruby Cruz, Nick Offerman again. Nick Offerman has worked with him many times. John Hodkinson, Jefferson Hall, Emma Laird, Peter Serafinowicz. I think he was a recent addition. He was in The Phantom Menace and Guardians of the Galaxy. So yeah, I mean, and like you said, being shot for IMAX, this is like the most ambitious movie that A24 has ever made or is going to ever make. It's I think it's one of the most expensive as well. So they're really going all out in terms of making bigger movies. This is the biggest one yet for A24. Let's see if it turns out well. It's also very off. It's very off the beaten path for what Alex Garland's known for. Mm-hmm. This is like the first IP thing that he's worked on, right? Because he's usually doing his own thing. It's something original. Yep. So yeah, it'll be interesting.
But next up, Tim Cook stepping down as Apple CEO to be succeeded by John Turnus at Tech Giant. So Tim Cook is no more, guys.
So obviously we know what Tim Cook looks like, but to the right of him, you've got John Turnus. He, by the way, comes from the hardware side of Apple, so he's been involved in like the Mac, side of the company over the years. What I like about this change, Tim Cook used to be the CFO of the company before he took over as he was the COO of the company, the chief operating officer. He came from more of a financial, more software heavy background, and so Tim Cook did a great job. I mean, Apple's grown as a company, but I feel like a lot of people don't think Apple is at the forefront of hardware innovation like they used to, because under Tim Cook, the best thing they did was like an Apple Watch, and even that was something that Steve Jobs kind of had in the works back then. But what I like is just John Turnus, with his background coming from the hardware side of Apple, might kind of drive them to create the next iPad or next iPhone level innovation in hardware that Apple was known for many decades before, especially the early days when Steve Jobs was around. So yeah, I mean, this will affect a lot of Hollywood as well, and that's why we're talking about this, because Apple, of course, we've talked about, they're rejigging their theatrical release strategy, and obviously Apple TV is one of the best streaming services out there, so there'll probably be some changes there, and it will be interesting to see whether under John Turnus the focus on media increases, or if Apple pulls away from Hollywood even more. So we'll have to see how that plays out. But yeah, worth mentioning.
But nothing will still ever be as good as Android phones. Anyway, Clarkson's Farm sets season 5 release date. So everybody watching that, definitely a fun time. I know a lot of people that really love this show, and why Jeremy Clarkson is still very much based. So
Jeremy Clarkson is based, and I can't wait for season 5. John, if you scroll down, we actually had the release date, and they actually gave us like a schedule because there's going to be, I believe, 7 episodes. So they're going to release the first 4 episodes, actually 8 episodes total. The first 4 release on June 3rd, and then 2 more episodes follow June 10th, and then another 2 June 17th. So you're going to start off with getting the first half of the season on June 3rd, and then you're going to get 2 more episodes each consecutive week. So get ready, because June is Jeremy Clarkson's Farm month on on Amazon Prime Video. Season 5 in Oxfordshire. I love that he calls this farm Diddley Squat Farm. And I know quite a few people who love watching this. I'm kind of behind, so I need to kind of catch up to season 3 and 4. But I actually know some people who worked on the show as well. And yeah,
very nice.
And he's got a restaurant which is insanely overpriced that is farm to table rest anyway. Yeah.
Yeah. Nice. But next up, Charlize Theron. God, Timothy Chalamet's still getting fucking strays, bro. Charlize Theron says in 10 years AI is going to be able to do Timothy Chalamet's job, but it will not be able to replace live performance like ballet. Hate to break it to you, but it could probably do both. Just saying, you know.
Well, I mean, if you're talking generative AI, then I don't know. But because you got to be able to see it in person. I mean, Boston Dynamics robots are good. I don't think they're that good yet. So anyway, let's keep going. Speaking of John,
rehearsing to fight an invisible boy. Shout out the great at 3 Young Kings, my stunt double Olsen C, and our entire stunt team for creating incredible fight sequences to make us feel safe doing them. Hashtag the boys. Damn, they casted John Cena.
Because Jack Quaid was just rehearsing the fight scene, and it just looks like he's fighting thin air. So it must be John Cena, because we can't see him. So, yep.
Next up, Rocky's Amaze was mentioned on NASA Communications. I think we already knew this, but
Well, no, this was when they were like coming back around the moon towards the Earth, and they took some photos.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that this was from a while. Yeah, it's from 2 weeks ago.
Is it? Okay, well, anyway, I'm not complaining. Like Project Hail Mary Glaze, I'm for it. Because like the comms people in Houston were like amaze, and I was like, yes, more synergy between our movies and real life space exploration, because that's what it's all about, yeah.
Hell yeah. Final quick hit, more glazing. During the interview with Ryan Gosling for KTLA, he really wanted to know what I thought of Project Hail Mary. Here's what I told him, and here's how he reacted to see Project Hail Mary in theaters starting today. He will love it. Away.
And he's just like, oh god, I can't I just want to know what you had to say. And then Ryan Gosling just was blown away by the reaction from Scott Mantz. So good stuff. Is this which one of these? This is one of the NASA locations, right? Mission Control Center. I can't tell if it's Houston or which one they're sitting in.
Why would he walk out if he's glazing it? I don't know.
No, it's the whole like, oh my god, I can't believe it. Oh god, and he just like gets up and walks away. Can't believe it. That's the Kenergy, John. It's Kenergy. That's what we're talking about. Hey Monique, you just got back from trivia. Took your dog out for a potty break. Got your PJs on and your hair braided, ready for the yeah. You know what? Just in time, because we're just wrapping up the quick hits, and that brings us to the end of the news portion of the show, and that means we're gonna be moving on to DCU Daily, which there's a lot to get into on DCU Daily, John. You're gonna have a lot of fun with what we got to talk about today, because we got from Swamp Thing all the way to Minute Tomorrow and everything in between. We got lots to get into. Not to mention, I've got a special surprise to show you guys at the start of DCU Daily. So why don't we just get blessed from the beginning and then get into DC talk.
It's another project that's been blessed from the beginning.
There's the shot right there. That.
Okay, we don't need to see
chorus. Right there.
Hey, buddy, eyes up here.
Now you want to get nuts?
Let's get nuts.
Here we go.
Victory mine. Ask me how am I doing? I'm telling you really I'm doing sublime. I never wait in a stewardess line. I just go do it. I'm moving my time. Really had nothing to do with it. How am I moving? I'm moving like you want to shine. Follow my lead. Don't listen to lies. I had to put me all in the line. That's why I know that victory's mine.
I prefer Jared Leto. Honka honka.
All right, welcome on into another episode of DCU Daily, especially DCU Daily number 500. And yeah, it's a big one. Technically, it's more than 500 at this point because we did a bunch of specials, but it is the officially 500th numbered episode of DCU Daily. So it's going to be a fun one. We got lots to get into. John is going to step back in a moment. But while John is away, let's party. Because of course recently on the channel also curious that DCU Daily is a part of, we passed the 100,000 subscriber mark, so they send over this like YouTube little plaque thingy, so yeah, we got like the silver one, so I'll have to pop it up on the wall somewhere.
Hey, there it is.
Got one. Yeah. I'll have to get you one too, John. You can get more than one, so and maybe Liz can have one too, and she'll have it in the back next to her board of, her thought for the day that she does. But yeah, so 100,000. Thanks you guys. And of course, John, I was just mentioning to the folks, thank you for the compliment. We got lots to get into today. From like I said, from Swamp Thing to Man of Tomorrow to Supergirl to Clayface to Batman Part 2 and everything in between. What are you most excited to talk about?
Honestly, a little bit of everything. I think all the news is pretty exciting right now. I mean, I'm excited to talk about the first thing because I know the history behind it, and I know a lot of comic fans are very excited about that. So that's definitely very, very great to see.
Yeah.
So
I will say
let's just jump right into it.
This is not as heavy as an Emmy. Certainly not as heavy as 2 Emmys. But thank you.
Yeah, because that's made with it's like a cheap plaque. Remember when the YouTube play buttons actually were made with like real metal and shit like that?
Right?
Good times.
I know. Yeah.
Now they're like, all right, here's a mirror and it looks silver. Here, have fun, fucker.
I'm like,
it's like, fucking Google that has more money than the fucking universe, but it's like, oh, God forbid if we give a couple people 100,000, and it's like, oh, here you go.
Yeah. Well, we'll put it up on the wall. It will look bigger. We'll do some camera tricks.
Well, you got to trim it to make it look bigger.
Yeah, exactly.
Speaking of trimming things,
trim the grass to make it look bigger. There you go. Let's talk about Swamp Thing.
But for the people who don't know, infamously, way back when Rick Veitch took over for Alan Moore on Swamp Thing, I don't know if there was another writer in between them, but I'm pretty sure it was Rick Veitch who took over for Alan Moore during the 80s. Infamously, Rick Veitch had this whole arc plan for like Swamp Thing going back in time and eventually meeting like Jesus Christ, but those last 4 issues that he wanted to do, eventually, the editor in chief at the time was like, no, that's you can't do that. That's way too beyond, like, no, that you can't do that. So those last 4 issues were canceled, and then we moved on, and I don't know if the book was canceled or just he got fired and moved on to another writer, but I know he did Brat Pack after the fact, which was like sort of this like very dark, edgy deconstruction of superhero sidekicks at the time. But yeah, I think it's awesome to see that they finally are bringing this back, and Rick Veitch is finally managing to, bring that vision that he never got to do to Swamp Thing. So
yeah, it's a good time to be a DC Comics fan because there's some epic stuff going on. This isn't the only thing we're going to talk about from DC Comics today. There's a lot to get into. Let's keep going. But Swamp, I hope we get a movie soon, eventually, one day. We'll see if James Mangold is interested, because his overall deal with Paramount, once Paramount and Warner Brothers under the same roof, I wonder how that changes things for something like that. Like, if you're getting an exclusive deal with what, because I don't know how they're going to organize things, but maybe it makes it more likely that James Mangold does a Swamp Thing movie soon now. Maybe looking on the plus side of that whole Paramount Warner Brothers deal. So yeah, anyway, these are the I was gonna actually say these should be like DC quick hits. We're doing this quick hit style, the Parrots, Ducks, and Pelicans of DC news. So
yes,
let's keep going.
But next up, new look at the Robins on Dexter Soy's variant cover for Absolute Batman number 20. But the Robins have finally come in. Dick Grayson, Jason Todd, Tim Drake, and then either non-canonical Robins like Stephanie Brown coming back as a Robin, and then Duke Thomas, who was supposed to be a Robin, and the next writer was like, no, we don't do that here, and then he became the Signal, even though Scott Snyder was like, I wanted him to be fucking Robin, what the fuck, bro? So, there was that, but this looks great. Lovely to see.
Yeah. Not only that, John, we actually have some variant covers of Absolute Robin to look at as well.
Yeah,
look at that Pacific Rim style.
Many variant covers. We have one from Kyo Young Yom, Nick Robles, Javier Rodriguez, Genoy Lindsay, and
Is
then
that Victor? Is that Victor playing Robin? I'm sorry, I'm just kidding.
That's Duke Thomas, dude.
That's too much to ask.
And then Ricky Yagawa and Alex Sinclair for Stephanie Brown. Very nice, very cool. I'm curious how they'll do this. It's gonna be crazy, but yeah.
At this point, I want to see Absolute Comics get realized in animation or something, like Jalen wants to do.
I think they're a little bit too new. Maybe wait a year from now, and then maybe they'll start doing stuff.
Yeah, that's fair. All right.
More next up. Talk. This person talking about their favorite covers from the July 2026.
Yeah, Jenna is like a huge DC super fan, and these are some of the covers she's looking forward to for comics coming out this summer for DC.
Yeah.
Ooh, that looks wild. Did we talk about that? That was was that an Absolute thing? I can't tell.
It might, yeah, it looks like Absolute Superman. And then you have Clayface Celebrity Dirt. Justice Society, apparently. Got Supergirl. Got Green Lantern. Ooh, hey, look, actual sexy. Green. That's crazy, bro.
That looks, I gotta say, that looks sexy. And then it says Will, because it's willpower.
Then you got Superboy Prime, although his eyes are looking a little off. But that's okay. That's okay. Mm-hmm. And then this looks, holy fucking shit. This looks fucking awesome.
This goes so hard. This is like Star Wars.
This is like fucking like art you find in a museum, bro. What the fuck? God damn.
Yeah. I want an art print of that so I can frame it and put it on the wall.
But it looks like you have Hawkgirl, Batman, and then Shining Knight. There.
God, that looks like the Watchtower, but like in Cloud City, like from the Empire Strikes Back, right?
Yeah.
It's.
Then you have more super people, Supergirl and Superman. And then it looks like you have Atom related stuff. So that's awesome. These are all fucking awesome, bro.
I love the Atom design too. That looks really
cool.
Cool.
I agree with this person. These two covers are fucking insane, bro.
They are insane.
This one's pretty awesome. This is for Absolute Green Arrow.
Oh my god, that looks sweet.
I'm surprised we're not talking about the fact DC Comics doesn't know how to spell Michael Myers. That was funny. I don't know if you saw that.
I don't think I did.
There was a poster. It was like supposed to be like kind of look like a movie poster, and it said it was actually really fucking funny because it said we need a Robin Hood that's less Errol Flynn and more Michael Myers, as in Michael Myers from Halloween, Michael Myers. And the problem is they spelled Myers wrong. It is, you can, it's a way to spell Myers, but the way Michael Myers and even the actor Mike Myers spells his name is Myers. And they spelled it Meyers. It's like, bro, that is a fucking 2-second Google search. You can't afford a typo like that. Hold on, I'm gonna get
okay,
it.
You know why I think they might have done that is because they probably don't.
I'm like, maybe it's a copyright, but like,
that's what I'm
thinking. It's a fucking name. It's a name. Like, really, the fucking Akkads are gonna sue DC Comics over a name that is an actual fucking name in real life, a very common name too. Like, come on, that's a bit ridiculous, if I do say so.
I mean, I'm thinking that's probably they were just being too precautionary with that.
But now you look like a fucking idiot. Like, I don't care if it's like, here's the thing, if it's a copyrighted thing, don't fucking do it then. Just fucking think of another way to do it. Like, I understand, like, maybe Jason Voorhees or Freddy Krueger, those are more like weirder, rare names, but Michael Myers is a very, simplistic day. I don't know. It just.
No, I hear you. I feel like that was probably a decision by like the legal department, and then.
Yeah, but it's still fucking stupid. I don't care. Just don't do it then. Just at that point, fucking.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to put that up on screen, that looks wild. That poster looks great. Absolutely.
The poster. Hold on, I don't know. Need to find a way to open this in. How do you fucking open this?
It says final order cutoff is 27th of April. In stores May 20th.
Yeah.
Wow.
Hang on.
Okay. Maybe I can open it.
No. Because I don't want to like show the fucking Slack or whatever. So, and there's no like right click, open a new tab.
Oh, you could just download and open it in your browser. There you go. That's the poster right there. Looks pretty nice. Absolute Green Arrow.
Yeah, it's great. And then they fucking dumbasses don't know how to spell Michael Myers. I don't care.
I'm telling you can't.
I'm sorry. I don't give a fuck. I do either do it right or don't do it at all. Because now you have fans of Halloween being like, wow, these dumbass fucking idiots don't know how to spell Michael Myers. And you're like, I don't want to buy a comic from dumbasses who don't know how to spell Michael Myers. You're shooting yourselves in the foot. Either do something like we need a Robin Hood that's less Errol Flynn and more like fucking, who's I don't know, the Avenging Angel. Like get like a guy who's like killed people IRL, but like, but like a guy who's like, remember that the Avenging Angel, the guy who killed pedophiles, that guy, like put his name there. Boom. Everyone can agree on that. So there you go. Insert that
that's
guy.
probably still more problematic because they don't want to.
But I'm just saying, it's like the thing that's so now I don't want to buy this because now I'm just like, oh, they don't know how to spell Michael Myers. That's fucking stupid, and it's just like it makes yourselves look dumb. Like now this is becoming a joke. I guess maybe it gets more people to talk about it. Oh, hey, we'll intentionally fucking get Michael Myers' names wrong, even though I don't think that's copyrighted. I don't think the name Michael Myers, that's like the Fine Brothers trying to copyright the word react. It's like, you can't do that. That's impossible. Someone who Mike Myers has to pay the accods for existing because his full legal name is Michael Myers. That's stupid. That's so stupid. I don't buy that at all. I don't buy that. It's like, oh, it's copyrighted. If it said we need a Robin Hood that's less Errol Flynn and more Halloween or something like that, I'd be like, okay, even though Halloween isn't really a copyright thing, you're still referencing an IP. Okay, fine. But like the fact that you're going out of your way to spell something wrong for copyright or you typoed, it's stupid either way, and you shouldn't have done it. And now the world is making fun of you because you're dumb. So that's all I have to say about that.
All right.
Still cool, though. You know what? Just don't do it next time.
Fair enough. I'm not somebody who was going to die on that hill, but that's fine. Let's keep going. We got more quick hits to get into before we talk about Clayface and all. So yeah, absolute Green Arrow. I'm glad we talked about that because now we got to talk about James Gunn wishing Sol Rodriguez a happy birthday over the weekend, John. It was her birthday, I believe. Was it Friday? I think, no, it was Saturday was her birthday. It was Superman Day. It was also Sol Rodriguez's birthday, and James Gunn posted a photo from behind the scenes, of course, when they were shooting the intro to season 2 of Peacemaker, saying happy birthday to my gal and one of the most dedicated dancers on Peacemaker season 2 at Sol Rodriguez. So happy birthday to Sol Rodriguez.
Well, the whole thing is like Green Arrow died and then got resurrected, hence why they use Michael Myers, because Michael Myers has died and then come back. That's what they're referencing.
Okay. Right. And he also uses swords.
And also, literally, the entire Absolute line is edgelord BS. Like, the fuck you mean, bro? Like, that it literally relies on edgelord crap.
Okay, well, anyway, happy belated birthday to Sol Rodriguez.
Yes, Sol Rodriguez, very nice. And then Fred Raskin will officially serve as the new editor for Man of Tomorrow. He's worked on all 3 Guardians movies and Suicide Squad, but also a bunch of Quentin Tarantino projects as well.
No, he worked on The Suicide Squad. Oh, okay, Django Unchained and Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. That's a pretty impressive resume. Or did he also do Rogue One? I feel like he did one of the Star Wars movies as well. But anyway, Fred Raskin, long time James Gunn collaborator. So Fred Raskin going to be the editor of Man of Tomorrow. We got a lot more Man of Tomorrow stuff coming up later, but that's all the quick hits for now. And with that, John, let's talk about Clayface. There was a report going around, a rumor, as it were, today on the internet. I feel like we should address it because Tuesdays are for trailers, and tomorrow is Tuesday. From when we're doing the show, we're doing the show on Monday, so tomorrow is Tuesday. And there was a rumor going around that the trailer that they showed for Clayface last week at CinemaCon is going to be released publicly tomorrow to the world to see. And well, let's talk about that for a moment, John. I don't know if you have the rumor link, because this is the account where it's coming from. DC Verso. DC Verso is a Portuguese DC account, related fan account. They don't have an official affiliation with DC, but they had a exclusive where they were talking about, hey, exclusive Clayface trailer drops tomorrow, and it would be April 22nd, which is. Well, actually, no. Did they say April 22nd is Wednesday? Technically, am I wrong about that?
Well, technically now on the East Coast it is tomorrow. So
yeah. So anyway, the point is they were saying it drops. If you go to the next thing, I found this account on Instagram, Clayface Movie. Now this here account, when I found this originally, had only just posted this minutes ago, and this was the first post on this new Clayface Movie account. And you could see here, this was on our thumbnail. This is apparently a magazine from the world of Gotham City in the DCU, where clearly on the cover of that is rising star Matt Hagen. It looks more official now than ever, John. If you can, actually, can you click on that account name and open that up separately? Because I wonder, because now this is a collaboration post with DC officials, so this is giving it even more, credibility that this is a real account. So they've only posted one thing, and they've picked up 4,000 followers in a matter of hours. They didn't really have an official profile picture. It's just a black solid.
Well, if you brighten it up a bit, it looks like there is something there. It's not just blackness. Hang on.
Is it?
You can kind of tell.
I can't see anything. I don't know.
Hang on. I'm gonna raise up the. Hold on. I'm gonna do some. do some stuff.
It's April 22nd. Right. Is when the rumor says April 22nd, this Wednesday, is when Clayface's trailer would drop. So I think I misspoke earlier. So April 22nd it is this Wednesday, and that's the rumor from DC Verso in Portugal, is that the trailer for Clayface will be releasing on Wednesday. I don't know if are you trying to open up?
I'm trying to do a thing, but we can move on.
Okay.
I could multitask.
No, while you do that, I just wanted to if you can, are you able to hang on the other photo, like the other tab, while you do this? So that we could talk about, because I was gonna just mention, it looks like the title of the magazine does say most glazed, because it's kind of covered, but it does. I mean, what else would it say? Most glossed or something? It's most glazed future stars issue number 317. I was trying to figure out if there's any Easter eggs hidden in any of those little subheadings on the left or the right of the magazine cover, but clearly rising star Matt Hagen, or would be rising star, or was once upon a time a rising star by the end of the movie. We'll see. Quick question, John. I wanted to first ask, is this going to be a trailer that they're releasing now because it can then get timed out with Michael coming out this week, that they'll put it and play it out in front of Michael, because obviously that's going to be a big release? And then B, do you even believe that this rumor for a trailer is actually real? Just because they posted this photo, it's not really a poster for the movie. Usually you get a poster and then the next day they release the trailer. Does that mean, with this official Clayface Movie account now set up, that maybe we're going to get a poster later, on Tuesday, and then Wednesday? If that does happen, then I'd imagine a trailer is not that far behind. How do you take this? Are we gonna get? I'm going to see Michael on Wednesday. Do you think I get to watch the Clayface trailer before it?
I don't know. Maybe. I don't know. I kind of am not really believing anything quite yet, but we'll see. The only thing we have is this very. Although clearly there is something in the profile picture, because I raised it and you can kind of see eyes, a little bit of teeth, and then backside stuff.
Okay, hold on. I'm gonna see if I can pop.
I sent the thing in Slack. You could fucking see it.
Oh, you did? Oh, hold on. Sorry. I don't know if that's anything. It's definitely not all black, but why is it so dimmed?
Because it's supposed to be secretive.
Interesting. So they're asking for people to dig around and try to figure this out. Has anybody gone through and done this, where if you go to the profile page and look at the profile photo itself. By the way, if you click on the profile photo, it doesn't load anything. Okay, or if I try to load the image separately, I mean, there's definitely something there, but I'll see if I can temp. John, I guess my question to you would be, while I do this, what are your expectations from the trailer? Because, I mean, sometimes they don't release the exact same trailer they show at CinemaCon. They'll give you a version of it. Like, what are you looking forward to seeing if you do get this trailer, you know, later this week on Wednesday?
I think we're going to be getting. It's entirely possible that this weird fucking Portuguese fan account might mean something, and this account is a real account, and it might mean something. But I'm not gonna hold my fucking breath, and it's like, yeah, 100%, this totally means something. I think they're just kind of teasing stuff. It's possible that we get something tomorrow, but again, not holding my breath, and not holding my breath for Michael either. So,
yeah. I mean, John, if I don't know, okay, so let's just kind of like put the pieces together for a second, because look, if you go to the DC Verso post for a moment, I just want to kind of talk, just kind of connecting the dots here. That DC Verso post on X, that in and of itself, I wouldn't believe necessarily, because it's just a DC, you know, news fan account, and we don't really know how well they're connected to the, you know, the source of whatever the information they're talking about. In this case, Clayface. But you take that report about the trailer coming out this Wednesday, exclusively, you know, scooping that the trailer will release for Clayface on Wednesday, and then you look at the post on Instagram, which, like I said before, if you go back to the Instagram post, when that was initially posted for the first few hours, it was just Clayface movie. It's the only post, even now, on that account. That account now has like over 4,000 followers when we're doing this live. It didn't have anywhere close to that before. And it wasn't at the time a collaboration post with DC Official, which is the official. That DC Official is the official account of DC. And yeah. So John, people are noticing also, if like you said, the fact that this is a collaboration post with DC Official, and then you look at, you know, the photo that you got here, that you enhance the brightness on that profile photo on the Instagram account for Clayface movie. That's, I mean, what is that? Is that a look at the character Clayface from the movie?
It's definitely, I mean, you could see eyes and teeth there. You could see like his back, and then you could kind of see something on the right and on the bottom. Nothing crazy, but like you could clearly see that the profile picture is not just black. It's like, it's definitely, you know, that there is that. So yeah.
You know what? I'm in Photoshop right now, and I'm gonna see if I can.
See if you can do it better. I don't have like fancy Photoshop.
No. But like at some point, the artifacts kind of take over. So I'm just trying to see if I can. You know what? Hold on. Why don't we just do it this way? This is simpler. I'm just gonna like share my screen from Photoshop directly. Let me see if I can do this. This is like we're doing this live. Like we're literally trying to investigate, because I didn't notice that until, you know, you mentioned it to me. So here we go. I've got Photoshop open, and you see that there? That's with the brightness increased. Like, what are we looking at? Is that, there's not many defining features. Is that just a close-up look at the live action version of Clayface, do you think? We'll talk about Man of Tomorrow
I can see faces in there, and like the top of his, there's something there. There's fucking something there. So yeah, it's just like,
it's like, because if you go back, this is the original image, and then this is it enhanced. Now if I just go back to this, and I'll kind of, I don't know, we're just, again, an exercise in deducing, I don't know, I feel like Mulder and Scully trying to like find the truth about UFOs right now.
But yeah, here's the thing. On the left, you could see eyes and a face. Like, that is definitely a face. So, yeah. And then on the top, you could clearly there's more green in this picture than in the entire Lanterns trailer, by the way. So you could kind of see green on top there, and maybe a couple other faces, or maybe that's just something else. I don't know. But there's
It
clearly
could just be one big face.
Maybe, but like clearly there's something there.
Is this one of those like Rorschach tests or whatever the is like what do you see?
Like, where's Waldo?
Where's Waldo? Yeah. I wish I had Superman eyes. I don't think Superman could tell, because this is like if you raise it high enough, thank you MTG, then again the levels, you just start to get artifacting. Like, I don't know what I see. Like, you see that? Like, maybe this is the most information, but even now it's sort of like I don't know. It's kind of hard to tell. I guess we will see this a proper version of this in a day or two. Could be. It just looks like it's just from the top right of the image, like those are some, like maybe there's an eye in there, maybe an eye or two. It's not the bats. That would be very interesting if that was the case. Where's the Watcher when you need him? I know, right? Maybe Watcher will show up later, but hey, there you go. We're just trying to do this live in Photoshop. And John, you had another. Where's the image that you had with like the circles? Just the feature sets that we had. Oh, sorry. There you go. So yeah, that's another version of the photo. You could kind of see some of the details. So yeah, there's a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle right there. It could be hiding in plain sight. It could be anything. That's the magic of this thing, is that we're literally trying to figure out what's hiding in an image that might as well just be all just visual noise, but it could be Clayface. So there we go. Well, it looks like we're getting a trailer this week. That is the rumor, not yet confirmed, but the fact that they have an official Instagram account set up, they have that photo of Matt Hagen, played by Tom Rice Harris, and of course that's on the thumbnail for this video. And you add into that the fact that Instagram post is now a collaboration post with the official DC Instagram account. Usually that means the trailer is not that far behind. So at least the marketing campaign has picked up, which is great. But yeah, you guys let us know. What are you looking forward to seeing in the Clayface trailer? Is it going to be the exact same thing they played for the audiences in attendance at CinemaCon last week? Is it going to be something a little bit different? What are your expectations for it? Do you think they're going to release it in time? I mean, the idea would be probably to have it play ahead of Michael this weekend, which a lot of people will go to see. So of course his timing is good. But yeah, Clayface, that's coming up later this year, October 23rd. But before then, we got, of course, Supergirl coming out. And John, we have a lot to talk about with Supergirl as well, because the marketing campaign for Supergirl has definitely picked up now. In fact, it looks like Supergirl is going to be popping up at CCXP Mexico in Mexico City, and we'll have Millie Alcock, the star of the movie, and Craig Gillespie, the director.
They'll be appearing on the last day.
On the last day, 26th of April. So what does that end up being?
On the third day, she rose again. So,
but do the math right. 23, 4, 5, 3, 4. Is that a Saturday? Or Sunday? Is that a Sunday?
26th is the Sunday.
The Sunday. So they're going to be there on the Sunday. What do you think they'll be talking about? Are they going to give us more footage? Like, what would you think? Or is it just an interview? Because remember, James Gunn and John Cena were at CCXP in Brazil last year talking about Peacemaker. This is, of course, in Mexico, but what do you think we should expect from this appearance?
Maybe we'll get like a little more information, maybe a clip. Mm-hmm. But I don't think since we just got that trailer, I don't think we're going to be getting another one. We're probably not. We're probably going to get that fine. We got the teaser. We got the official trailer. We're probably going to get that final trailer maybe beginning of June. Usually the final trailer comes out like a little bit less than a month before the movie comes out, maybe like 3 weeks, 2 weeks ahead of the movie. So it's most likely we're going to get that then. So yeah, I don't think we're going to get much here.
Nice. Yeah. If you go off of what they did last year with James Gunn promoting Peacemaker with John Cena, they answered a lot of questions, but didn't really give away too many spoilers. And like you said, they didn't give out a ton of new footage. But sometimes, you know, in between the many interviews, because it's not just the panel that they do, they'll probably do other interviews around it. You might get a nugget or two of information that we don't know yet. So, you know, there's always stuff that we'll keep our, you know, eyes and ears out for, and I'm sure we'll be able to talk about on Monday. So again, they'll be there on Sunday. It looks like doing a panel for Supergirl in Mexico for CCXP Mexico. Jalen saying, I feel for Millie because she clearly is a shy actress when they put the press plus the whole always attacking. Oh, okay. Always attacking on the internet. You know, it's just it's part of fandom nowadays. It doesn't matter what franchise you're out there representing. Millie Alcock.
I think that's always been a part of fandom. You're always going to get blowback no matter what. I mean, look at Michael Keaton as Batman. It's been there since the beginning. So,
you know, by the way, speaking of what I would like to see, Jalen saying either a TV spot or a first-time movie clip. I don't think it's a TV spot because they're at an event. They are more likely to potentially put out maybe a little clip from the movie. I would love to. I would love to see it if you know, if they save it for the movie. Like, I wouldn't mind if they save this for the movie itself and it comes out. But I personally would love to see one of the scenes with Superman. I'm so fascinated by the idea of seeing Supergirl land on Earth and then greet Superman, or Superman greets her, and then they're talking in Kryptonian, which when we know is in the movie, and it's like a flashback to when Supergirl first shows up on Earth, and you know, Clark finds her, and it looks like that was the first thing they shot for this movie. And you know, Millie Alcock and Craig Gillespie have talked about filming that, and they were speaking Kryptonian. If that's the scene I would be like, okay, now I'm convinced. And also, it kind of kills two birds with one stone, because you're putting Superman next to Supergirl, so you get the super rub from Superman, like, no pun intended. And at the same time, you're promoting the movie itself, and one of probably, you know, the more significant scenes in the movie. I would love to see it. There's no guarantee they'll put that out there before the movie comes out. You probably want to save it for the film itself. Either that, or I want to see a little bit more about maybe one of the scenes from when, you know, she's being thrust out of, you know, Argo or Krypton, or whatever that looks like, and she's being sent away as the planet dies. I'd like to see maybe an interaction with her father Zor-El. Like, that would be interesting as well. Hey, Pacerland, you got your Michael tickets? Me too. I got my Michael tickets. I'm going to see it on Wednesday, and we'll be reviewing it. We'll do a spoiler-free review on Wednesday on DCU Daily. MTG saying, I saw John Roca attacking her today on Millie Alcock. She is shy, and she said she doesn't want to be a movie star, but she can definitely act. Well, look, I don't understand why people do this, and especially, like, you know, John Roca, who's been in the industry for so long. I don't know if what he said would be characterized as attacking, but I also haven't seen what he said. I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt because he's been in this industry long enough to know better, but, you know, I'll take your word for it, MTG. I just don't understand why people are so harsh. She's an actor. She came on set. She you know, she did the job. She's not doing work on the movie for as long as most other people. Like, the director of this movie, Craig Gillespie, is probably going to be involved with this by the time he's done, for the better part of 2 years. And not to mention, you know, all the other, you know, artists that are part of this movie. And actors are a big part of that picture too. But, you know, and then obviously promoting the movie in the case of Millie Alcock for a movie of this size. But at the same time, actors have less of an influence in the movie than a director does, or a director of cinematography does, or like the art department does. Those are the folks that really spend, you know, sometimes months, if not years, of their lives on these projects. So I just don't get it. Like, movies are hard enough to make. Like, just you know, calm down. Like, get over yourself. Like, just enjoy it or don't enjoy it. You don't need to, like, you know, put down somebody else's work just to feel better about yourself, you know. I don't like that. You know, we try not to be negative about things, although we will, you know, voice our opinions, and if it's something that, you know, it's worth critiquing, then we will. But yeah, a Lobo Supergirl, maybe, yeah, a bar scene, like when she meets Lobo at the bar, maybe you get a little bit of action. That could be another scene we could see. I would say if there are 3 scenes I'd like to see, one would be when she meets Superman for the first time, when she arrives on Earth and they're talking Kryptonian. Maybe a scene when she gets to interact with her father, Zor-El, or when she gets to meet Lobo. I would take any of those 3 scenes if they do release. I don't think they're gonna do that, but if they do, that would be great. I would love to see it. Yeah, I mean, exactly. Pacerland. Maybe it does feature Lobo. Krem and Supergirl, possible, but there's already so much of that in the trailer. I don't think they're gonna want to give any more of that away, especially because probably a lot of it is from the 3rd act. I did not see what John Roca said, but I mean, I'll have to go find it. I don't understand why an actor is getting attacked for. She's an actor. She got the script. She did the line. She did the performance. It's hard enough,
I'm just here so I
constantly
don't
be in the
get
spotlight.
fined.
Yeah. So Roca was saying, just essentially saying she didn't promote the movie very well at CinemaCon, 1-word answers, things like that. Yeah, so I mean, she's a human being. So if she's shy, and quite frankly, the amount of people that are CinemaCon are like 0.0001% of the audience that's gonna go see the movie. So I'm sorry, but nobody gives a shit if she did 1-word answers, because it's not going to reflect in the marketing campaign that the vast majority of people are going to get to see before going to see the movie. Most people don't even realize that she gave short 1-word answers, other than the people who were
I
actually
didn't even
there.
know that until you said it.
Yeah, exactly. Nobody cares. It's like, so like, like it's like, no, we don't need to jack off our own dicks just talking about, oh my god, I was at CinemaCon and she gave 1-word answers, I feel bad about the movie. I'm like, you were, part of a 0.0001% of people who, by the way, it's a specialized conference, it's a trade show, it's not even a public cinema, it's not a Comic-Con. There's more people that go to Comic-Con in one day than show up the entire week in Vegas for CinemaCon. Thank you, Enterprising, for the paid super sticker. But yeah, I think ultimately Supergirl will live or die by the quality of the movie, and the marketing campaign has been improving. So yeah, and again, we're not going to lose sleep over this. Again, the marketing campaign and the movie itself is going to matter more than what they did at CinemaCon. And CinemaCon, they did quite a bit. I mean, Lobo was there. He came out with the Space Hog. Like, come on, like, they did plenty. I would love to see anything with the Ruthie arc as well. But again, I don't think they're going to give out much footage. I don't want to set the expectation. We don't know anything officially. They didn't really release any new footage, if I remember correctly, for Peacemaker last year from CCXP in Brazil. So there's no precedence there. But they did talk about the movie quite a bit. So we might, again, get more nuanced details about the film that we don't know yet. And so we'll talk about that on Monday, because this panel with Craig Gillespie and Millie Alcock is on Sunday at CCXP Mexico. But yeah, I know the whole CinemaCon thing. It's again, it's a trade show. It's not a fan event. And while you get some insights and stuff, ultimately a lot of the trailers end up online. We didn't even talk about it today. Practical Magic 2 put out a trailer online, the same trailer they showed at CinemaCon last week. Meet the Fockers put out the trailer. Oh, not the Fokker in Law. That trailer got put out last week. Most of that stuff ends up on the internet. It's an exclusive, sure, but again, it's a very small audience that gets to see it. The Avengers Doomsday trailer will probably end up online soon. The descriptions are everywhere anyway, so yeah, it's fine. I mean, it's fine. And if it's a great movie, then the negativity will go away, all on its own. Will Micah Monroe added to Howling to be good audition? Hi, Stacy. I don't know if that question is relevant to what we're talking about right now, but thank you for sending in the question. But John, we got a lot more Supergirl stuff to talk about. So let's just go through the next few things. It looks like I was saying, the marketing campaign for the movie is definitely picking up. Yeah. Enterprising, we'll probably talk about those trailers tomorrow. We just didn't have room on the show today. But I did see those trailers. Super Troopers being another one. But John, it looks like Millie Alcock's Supergirl is getting added to Injustice 2, the mobile game. And your thoughts on that?
Cool. I don't really care. I played the game for a little bit. It's fine.
Yeah.
It's the thing is, I've played the console version. I've never played the mobile version, so I don't. Yeah, exactly. This thing is still alive. People still play this. Yeah.
If you scroll to the right on this, they do the official, and it's actually not like speculation. This came directly from the developers of the game on X. So yeah, it's a mobile game. And yeah, Thomas Crown Affair, I'm very excited for the Michael B. Jordan version of the movie. But yeah, the marketing for Supergirl is revving up Enterprising, because we have some more product collaborations, like Kid Robot doing a collab with Supergirl. John, we have a few photos here. This looks nice. This looks cute. I want that crypto. And I'll take this. That looks like one of those sticky things. You stick that on like a window or something.
I remember I had one of those SpongeBob that I stuck to the window, and like by the time I had to take it down because like the stickies weren't sticking to the window anymore, like the entire fucking front was just pale, like with the sun hitting it. Like he didn't have eyes, he barely had clothes because the behind him looked totally vibrant and everything, and then the front where the sun was hitting it would just look like you know that episode where it's like SpongeBob accidentally sun bleaches himself. That's what he looked like.
Gotcha. Well, Kid Robot doing some cute toyetic collaborations for the movie Supergirl. So yeah, let's keep going.
Nice. Now we get some official looks at brand new 2026 Halloween costumes. So yeah, okay, they don't look great, but like, come on. I mean, they're Halloween costumes. I would say the crypto one doesn't even try, but like, damn.
I like the Lobo one. Like it's almost like you're wearing a helmet because like that head looks way too big for that body. It's like a Funko Pop almost. So
the woman on the left looks like AI.
Yeah. At the bottom left?
Yeah.
A little bit, maybe like the mod. Yeah, but I mean, it looks like it's a costume that you'll be able to get. I don't know. Like, there's definitely cosplay potential if you upgrade a few elements. So, yeah. I mean, tailored costumes are expensive, so these are more like the stuff you'll be able to get off the shelf, and just if you just want a quick solution for trick or treating. So, bottom left. Oh, thank you, Eric. For that offer. What's the bus for? Yeah. Well, I mean, we talked about
it's the
CinemaCon,
Fortnite
Supergirl
bus. They resurrected it. No, just kidding.
Supergirl presentation wasn't as involved. It didn't have as much to say or present as like what they did last year. Like when you have, because this also the thing is this, Ron. We've talked about this before. James Gunn is like one of a kind. Craig Gillespie is not James Gunn. In fact, just as a proof of concept, most of the Supergirl trailers and stuff that have been released by James Gunn. Like he posts them and everything. I don't think maybe Craig Gillespie does post them, but like he's not really a social native, like or like social media native. It's like James Gunn seems to be the one who's leading the way, even on movies that he's not directing. So when James Gunn showed up with David Cornsweet, Nicholas Hoult, and Rachel Brosnahan in that amazing Daily Planet dress, I was like, that was a CinemaCon that I would remember. And while Supergirl, Millie Alcock had that crazy cool Chanel sweater, and you got Lobo showing up with the Space Hog and everything, it just doesn't. I mean, and it's not going to be probably as big of a movie as Superman. So let's. It's for what it was. It's good what they did at CinemaCon, and they gave us some new footage and stuff. And Craig Gillespie was there talking about it. We'll probably get a bigger presentation next year with Man of Tomorrow and the Batman Part 2, which, by the way, the Batman Part 2 was not even mentioned at CinemaCon as part of Warner Brothers' line for movies for the next 18 months. So yeah, we'll see what that turns into. But speaking of the Batman Part 2, John, we have some casting news to share for the Batman Part 2, because it looks like after having some high-profile names, including the last man to play James Bond himself, Daniel Craig, as well as they were at one point going to offer it to Stellan Skarsgård.
Stellan Skarsgård was another one. There was one more. I think they said on the short list was Liam Neeson. I think they'd offer it to Brendan Gleeson at one point.
It looks like none of those names, either they were never offered, were never in the running, or passed on the role, because now again, this isn't confirmed, because this news doesn't come with like this actor is playing that particular character, kind of like what happened with Audrey Arjona, where it wasn't really confirmed, but more or less we were expecting her to play Maxima. For the Batman Part 2, Charles Dance, who you might remember for Game of Thrones, among many other projects, he is the latest and maybe the last really big actor to join Robert Pattinson in the Batman Part 2, the upcoming sequel to the Batman epic crime saga that Matt Reeves is getting ready to go into production on. Hello, Watcher. How are you doing? Let us know if you have any insights on that Clayface stuff. We were perusing their Instagram account earlier. By the way, Stacy enjoyed your review of The Mummy, John. But talking about Charles Dance joining the Batman Part 2, John, I want to get your take on what this means. And then again, if you want to speculate what character he might be playing.
Yeah, I mean, it seems obvious that he's probably going to be playing, Christopher Dent, which some people are saying that they're associating him
He's
with
not
Court of
Alfred.
Owls.
Alfred is Andy Serkis
Serkis.
plays Alfred. Yeah. Anyway, but like we were talking about how they offered the role to Daniel Craig, Liam Neeson was on the list, Stellan Skarsgård, you mentioned Brendan Gleeson, all of whom were in consideration to play what's the name? Christopher Dent? Is it? What's the name of the father? So
you're right.
He's the father to Harvey Dent, Two-Face Harvey Dent, who we pretty much know is being played by Bucky Barnes, aka Sebastian Stan, coming over from Marvel to DC. Of course, in addition to Scarlett Johansson, who we think will be playing Gilda Dent, the wife of Harvey Dent. In fact, John, if you go to the next post on Instagram, DC Film News kind of put together a graphic, which is really good. If you scroll to the next image in this Instagram post, and then zoom in a little bit, we can kind of talk about these are the confirmed cast for the Batman Part 2 so far, at least like the lead characters. I mean, obviously the cast is going to be bigger than just these 7, but if you zoom into this, we can look at, obviously you had Robert Pattinson playing the Batman, not a surprise. Andy Serkis returning to play Alfred, and then Colin Farrell has talked about many times that he's back as a Penguin, but in a more limited capacity as opposed to the first film. Jeffrey Wright comes back and plays Detective Gordon. Then Scarlett Johansson, we think, is going to be playing Gilda Dent, who is the wife in the comics to Sebastian Stan's Harvey Dent, who Aaron Eckhart played in The Dark Knight. And then, of course, there was an actor who played the character of Harvey Dent that I'm not remembering the name of. In was that Connor Story, the one from Heat and Rivalry? Did he play Harvey Dent in the Joker? Folie à Deux? I think we had a Harvey Dent in one of those Joker movies. But basically, Charles Dance, who, like I mentioned, you might remember from Game of Thrones, he is now, it looks like, according to the trades, going to be playing Christopher Dent. So he's going to be he's the dad of Harvey Dent, essentially. So, yeah. Oh no, it's Johnny, says the guy who made the article said he heard Stalin was the only one who passed. Well, we talked about how Daniel Craig, that was in the reporting for quite some time, unless that wasn't ultimately true. But that was coming from Deadline before. So, I mean, Deadline and Hollywood Reporter and Variety. But yeah. The Watcher saying the only tidbit on Clayface that I've heard currently is that Gunn's Gotham is going to be amazing. It's supposed to be insanely feral. Well, that's good to know. That is good to know. Of Matt is more gritty and mysterious, than Gunn's is more BTS meets schizophrenia. Oh, I see. Okay. Yeah, Two-Face's daddy is who Charles Dance is playing.
Who's your daddy and what does he do?
Although, John, speaking of Scarlett Johansson, if you go to the next article,
who's mommy? I'm just kidding. No, just kidding.
Colin Jost might want to have a word with you, but anyway, Scarlett Johansson's deal, according to your favorite insider.
First off,
Jeff
I'm just
Snyder,
kidding. Secondly, I could beat the shit out of Colin Jost. I'm just saying.
Sure.
I'm pretty sure a stiff wind could beat the shit out of Colin Jost. All right, let's get that perfectly clear.
The Batman Part 2, I believe, starts filming in as early as May and potentially June. The date, we have heard it both ways. So I would imagine as early as May, potentially in June. It looks like some of the actors won't start filming till June, but Robert Pattinson has says one thing, Matt Reeves has said another thing. Production Weekly had another date listed. Let's just say this summer the movie goes into production for sure. And according to your favorite insider, Jeff Snyder, John, if you scroll down in this article, he was talking about it in his latest episode of his podcast that Scarlett Johansson's deal may not quite be locked in just yet. But obviously with the movie going into production really soon, if you keep scrolling down here a little bit, it looks like the speculation is that Scarlett Johansson and her representation are still sort of ironing out some of the details of the contract, but it doesn't. Even Jeff Snyder said it doesn't feel like this is going to be a problem. They more than likely will just get it all hammered out before the movie starts, filming, and essentially Scarlett Johansson, wouldn't be putting herself in a position where she's not able to get to set on the day she's meant to be because her contract isn't done. But it is kind of interesting to see, like, again, the behind the scenes of how these things work. She's supposedly was attached to the movie like as far back as like late last year, I believe, when we first heard about this, and then it got confirmed, I believe, toward the beginning of the year. So the fact that if it is indeed true that her contract isn't completely finalized yet, I wouldn't worry about it too much. I don't feel like with all that publicity around her being part of the movie that they're gonna like be at a point where she's gonna walk away because they couldn't figure out some important detail. It's probably just like dotting your I's and crossing your T's at this point. But yeah, there we go. Stacy was at CinemaCon, saw Jeff Snyder walking around with a bomb. Okay, cool. All right, Stacy. John, anything you want to add to that? Jeff Snyder talking about maybe Scarlett Johansson's contract negotiations coming down to the wire.
I think Jeff Snyder needs to stop and like just get on his knees and suck this dick, and just do that for the rest of his life, because he's probably more talented at that than running his mouth. Might as well utilize his mouth for something a hell of a lot better than running off bullshit. Okay.
Anatomically, John, how do you get on your knees and suck your own?
I'm saying he gets on his knees and sucks my dick. You're ruining the joke, Dan. God damn, bro.
Sorry. Okay, I don't need that visual. Pause, John. Pause. The Watcher saying Gunn is not the least, but Gunn is not the least but worried about the merger. Matter of fact, he's probably hoping it hurts up to get that budget boost. Oh, okay. It hurries up. Okay, I see. Yeah, I mean, I feel like they're going to throw a lot of money at DC because they know DC is like the big money maker for Warner Brothers. So I don't think they'll be short on cash post-merger, much like they're not right now. But John, of course, over the weekend, it was Superman Day. So why don't we take a little bit of time before we talk about Man of Tomorrow and do a recap of Superman Day. Why don't you walk us through all of the good stuff that DC was doing over the weekend, including James Gunn.
Yeah, so, okay, trying one more time, and if Instagram makes it silver again, I'll delete and come back later. Celebrating hashtag Superman Day last night with super friends for Man of Tomorrow. Paolo Mesiti, trainer, Sydney Happerson, and Fred Raskin, editor, so I assume this is where the people got it from, in terms of him editing the movie, and my old friend from Super, Mr. Drarroyo. After 15 years, it's great to be working with Andre again. So.
Nice. Sorry, I had a cat butt in my face. Yeah, Watcher, I saw your comments about it. Looks like the Gotham of DC, the DCU, is going to be just riddled with crime. Pardon the pun. So much so that they're going to need 50 Robins. They should get the whole crew from Absolute Robin. Okay. Enterprising ended up watching an episode of Smallville on Superman Day. All right, nice. Well, I mean, James Gunn, is talking about, of course, Fred Raskin, we mentioned, is the editor of the movie, so that got confirmed. And then Sydney Happerson, we know, is most likely in Man of Tomorrow. And then, of course, Andre, he's referring to Andre D'Arroyo, who we will talk about later. I think he's the latest, I should say, to join Man of Tomorrow, who's in the photo to the right of James Gunn, to the far right. All right, cool. Let's keep going, John. We got more Man of Tomorrow stuff. Well, Superman Day stuff to talk about first.
So James Gunn said, "Happy anniversary to Superman and Lois Lane. They've been saving the world and telling its stories since 1938 with no plan to stop. They made their first appearances in Action Comics #1, written by Jerry Siegel, with pencils and inks by Joe Shuster."
Nice. Yeah, the anniversary of Lois and Lane. Or did I say Lois and Lane? Lois and Clark. Comics. So yeah, that was on Saturday, on Superman Day, April 18th.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, let's keep going.
Nice. So Jorge Jimenez, of course, had his own post. Happy Superman Day to all. Hope, fire, hearts, hands. Very nice. But yeah, these are all the
Nice.
David
Oh,
Cornsweet.
that's the David Cornsweet suit. That looks nice. The way he draws it looks really really cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, Jorge Jimenez just like carrying DC right now. Well, not just him, but looks he's one of the many great artists working for DC in the comics. Stacy dropping exclusive? Huh. Well, I wouldn't be surprised if a third Devil Wears Prada gets announced, considering how popular Devil Wears Prada 2 looks right now. They just did their red carpet premiere earlier today. Yeah. Holy peak artwork, Batman. Nice stuff. Let's keep going, John.
Yeah. But next up, Crypto featured a new ad for Best Friends Animal Society to encourage people to adopt a dog or cat. Very nice. Very cute. Lovely to see.
I watched this on repeat like 5 times because it's Crypto. He's so cute. Let's keep going.
Yeah.
It's part of the
Millie
initiative to like
Alcock's
more cat and dog adoptions, by the way.
Supergirl at the new Superman experience at WB Studios. We have Battle Beats, so it's clearly like a game of some kind.
Yeah, have you seen the video and photos? They posted like a whole carousel over the weekend.
No.
It's kind of cheap looking, honestly, if I'm being honest about it. But if you're doing the studio tour, then it's certainly, interesting. They've got like the Superman robots there as well. There's like a whole menu of drink options and stuff. And it looks like Supergirl's also featured. I mean, they've also got Darkseid featured.
2 months.
So yeah. All right.
Not 1
we got
month,
2 months.
2 months.
2 months to go to Supergirl. Yeah. All right, let's keep going.
Next up, speaking of the Superman experience, and it's not, they got to spend that Man of Tomorrow money. It's all going to that. They can't really spend a lot of loose change on this, so it's just a silly thing. It doesn't need to be the greatest thing ever. Like,
I heard the voice, which is in this clip. It's not. I mean, people are like, "Oh my god, this is the dark side of the DCU." I'm like, calm down. This is most likely. I don't even think David Cornsweet voiced the Superman. Like, none of the actual actors from the DCU voiced any of these versions of the characters. It's basically a little theme park ride, and even then, it's like, I'm not saying it wasn't made with love and care like James Gunn said it was when they announced it, but yeah, it's not quite the kind of thing you would see if you went to like Universal Orlando or to like Disney, one of the Disney parks. By the way, to answer your question, Jalen, it does look like the Six Flags deal might be ending soon, and then DC might be trying. There was reporting about that a few months ago that they might be switching over to Universal, so you might see more DC rides at Universal, and Six Flags deal might be running out. So, anyway, let's keep going, John.
But next up, the DC Discord has spoken. What was your top moment from Superman? And of course, it was according to the Discord, it was the famous speech. Be like, I'm as human as anyone. I try my best. All that stuff. Love it.
And then Crypto shows up, and then he's like, I can help. He's like, I don't need your help. I'm goddamn Mr. Terrific. That whole scene is great. Sidney Apperson, and he's like, safety first, everybody, safety first. Then Crypto pops in. There it is.
I am good boy.
He's like, dude, come on. So, yeah, DC. Do you hang out in the DC Discord, Sean? Is that?
I am not on the DC Discord. No, I don't even know where the fucking link for that would be. Oh, link in bio. Okay, maybe I will. I don't know.
All right. Well, let's keep going. Screen Brief did a nice TLDR of Superman Day, so they kind of went through like the bunch of activity. You could have done so much during Superman Day. I mean, there's not as much as I thought there would be, like there was last year. But they did put out some free comics for people to check out. You could obviously go and read a DC comic of your own.
I
And
I was very bad at celebrating Superman Day. I didn't really do anything. I was just so busy that I just didn't have time to really do anything.
yeah, I don't even remember what my Saturday was like. Oh no, I was working. I was doing other work, so I didn't really have a ton of time to do much else. And then I was cooking, and so anyway. But you know what? We were keeping Superman in our spirits because I was looking up all this stuff and I was saving it for the show today. And hence we're talking about this. They did release the latest episode of that Crypto Saves the Day, the mini shorts that they were doing. So, and then of course the animal adoption, the Save Them All for best friends, like that's the initiative that they've been promoting now for 2 years in a row. It's great because I'm sure in a few days we'll find out that the amount of pets that have been adopted as a result of that campaign. Much like last year, a lot of dogs got adopted, a lot of cats. I've got a couple of kitties here myself. So yeah, it's great that they're doing that. And it's really one of the more notable aspects of a marketing campaign, no less, that I'd like to point out. But John, Superman Day apparently for a lot of fans fell flat, because I guess people were expecting a bunch of footage from either Supergirl or some kind of insight into Man of Tomorrow, which by the way didn't even start filming until Monday, which we'll get into later. But John, you want to scroll down here? They did release a video on Superman Day, DC did, which was a combination of actors from Supergirl, including Lobo himself, Jason Momoa, Millie Alcock, James Gunn, and then it looks like they also had from the set of Man of Tomorrow, they had David Cornsweet and Lex Luthor himself, Nicholas Hoult, pop in on this video, and of course the other stuff we've talked about. And in the video, I think they ask a question. So, Superman, how do you spend most of your time? And David Cornsweet's like, well, I spend it mostly hanging with you, Lex. And you can see there, Nicholas Hoult showed up to set, bald and ready for the job, because much like last year, his wife took the razor and shaved off the head completely clean. John, you have experience with that kind of thing. Like, is it tricky when you're shaving up there, all shaving it all off?
I mean, not really. I use a
Would you
special
trust somebody
electric
else to
shaver.
do that for you? Like, would you, like, if you had a partner, like, would you let them do
No,
that?
I'll do it myself.
I cooked some chicken Alfredo, Stacy. Thanks for asking on Saturday. But yeah, I mean, John, did you see this video? Were you disappointed that Superman Day maybe wasn't as big as maybe some fans expected it to be? Because they had like some fan activations in like 3 cities around the world, like Milan, I think was one of them, where they had like the Daily Planet booths, and you can go get like a newspaper. But
I mean,
yeah,
I didn't expect any footage. I thought it was fine.
Yeah.
I didn't really hear much about it, but it kind of came and went. But like, I was also like, again, I was busy. I was doing a lot of stuff, so like, I wasn't really paying attention to that sort of thing. So,
Yeah, I will say though, like unlike Disney, because like with Marvel, Disney's marketing machine plays a big role in how they've marketed their stuff over the years. Obviously, they've been burned a few times now with like Blade and how that never came to be, and other projects like the X-Men have taken longer to come, get made, and then obviously the last couple of phases of the MCU have not been as notable as they thought they would be. But for DC, they've been very judicious in how they market their projects. So to answer your question, or to lead off of what you were saying, Enterprising, they didn't even start filming Man of Tomorrow until after Superman Day. So there's nothing they could have shown off from it. And they did still manage to give us some stuff from the actors who were there to film the movie. And they were just dress up and do a couple of like social media things. So you got that. That's more than what I would have expected from Superman or, Man of Tomorrow. And then anything we got from Supergirl, chances are they're doing a lot of that promotional stuff where they're standing in front of like a set with a Supergirl logo behind them, like we saw with Superman last year, and they're talking about the movie, and they're doing a bunch of social collaborations and stuff like that we will get to see trickle out over the next few weeks and such. So I don't know what people expected. The Man of Tomorrow logo, if it was a Disney project, they would have probably done a logo reveal with a fancy animation. DC doesn't roll that way, not DC Studios, at least right now. They're, James Gunn and Peter Safran are all about saving that moolah and putting it into the movie itself. So yeah. Wait, did Supergirl just release a trailer? Are you messing with us or Enterprising, or did we miss something? Oh, you're talking about the trailer that released a couple of weeks ago. I thought you meant literally right now. Yeah, that was a great trailer. I don't know, John, did you love that trailer? I feel like we talked about it extensively, but like, where do you sit on that trailer? Because that was an improvement on
good.
the first one,
Yeah,
right?
no, it was good.
Yeah. Watcher, we did talk about Clayface trailer. The rumor is that it's dropping on Wednesday, and if you go off the Clayface Instagram, the newly created Clayface Instagram account, they posted a photo of Matt Hagen, well, the character in the movie, played by Tom Rice Harries, and that was a collaboration post with DC officials, so it's an official account. And I mean, either we're getting a trailer on Tuesday or Wednesday, or it's gonna come out in front of Michael in theaters and then get released later in the week, but it's likely happening this week. So yeah. Anyway, yeah, the full right, Enterprising, the full trailer for Supergirl. I mean, I thought Superman Day was fine, you know, like all things considered. Like next year will be bigger because there will be a movie featuring Superman coming out. But I thought they did a good job of, you know, again, keeping Supergirl in the mix as well. But John, speaking of Man of Tomorrow, we'll move on to that next. Let's talk about what could be DC Studios' first billion-dollar movie, mostly because it comes out before Batman Part 2. Over the weekend, James Gunn did confirm that Andre Arroyo has been cast in Man of Tomorrow. We don't quite know who he plays. Do you have any ideas as to who Andre Arroyo, who's a longtime collaborator of James Gunn, no less, who he might be playing in the movie?
No, I don't think so. I don't have
Like,
any clue
yeah.
in.
Because I'm trying to think, like what like, is there any comic book based role he could be playing, or could he just be playing, I don't know, like, you know, I'm not saying he's gonna play a street vendor like we saw in Superman, but he could be playing something relatively minor like that.
Yeah, like a Superman robot or like a very small character kind of thing.
Yeah. John, question for you: is there another horror movie coming out this month, like The Mummy?
Not this month, but May is stacked with horror. You have Hokum, you have Backrooms, you have Obsession, and those are just the top three off the top of my head. As well as a couple others. There's at least like 4 or 5 coming out. And I'm super Passenger, that's another one, Passenger. But yeah, a lot of stuff coming out next month. So horror next month is definitely gonna be awesome.
Yeah.
So I'm excited for. I'm very excited for Hokum and Obsession. Passenger, I'm pretty excited for. Backrooms looks really good. So
Hokum had a presentation
Exit
at
8
CinemaCon.
also.
Yeah.
I don't know if Exit 8 came out this year, this month, or if it's coming out next month. But Exit 8, I've also heard good things about. I think that was based on a video game. So yeah.
Yeah. Well, to your question, Stacy, ranking James Gunn DC from 1 to 10, I don't even think we've had 10 projects yet, so I don't think we could do that. But when we do, we'll probably do a tier list, so don't worry. Wildcat. What do you mean Wildcat? Oh, okay. So talking about who Andre Arroyo could be playing, could he be playing Wildcat or Ted Grant? Do you think, John?
No, he's too skinny.
Enterprising was mentioning this, and I saw this in the comments for this post on Instagram, that some people are thinking Martian Manhunter. Is that going a step too far? Maybe.
I don't think so. I don't think he's somebody that big.
Because I feel like, do you really need to add yet another metahuman character in the movie? I feel like there's already like more than half of that. Speaking of, actually, if you go to the next post, let's take a look at the current cast, the known cast for the film, which DC Film News again put together a nice graphic we can look through for Man of Tomorrow that now includes Andre Arroyo in the movie. So if you go to the next post on Instagram, John, we could take a look at the Man of Tomorrow cast for the movie coming out next year. It looks like we have over a dozen characters, including most returning from Superman. But you obviously have Brainiac with Lars Ettinger, and then Audrey Arjona. They're listing it as, Maxima, because that seems to be the Occam's razor answer to who she's playing. The whole Justice Gang is back. We found out last week that Nathan Fillion is going to be back, so we will get 2 Green Lanterns in the movie, Jon Stewart and Guy Gardner. Then, of course, Maria Gabriela de Furia is back as the engineer. Then Skylar Gazondo is back as Jimmy Olsen, and then Sara Sampaio, East Tessmacher. Would love to see what that dynamic looks like by the time we get to the movie. Frank Grillo, of course, is going to be a big part of the film, and then we don't know who Andre Arroyo is going to be playing. That's an impressive cast, John. I mean, is there any obvious gaps that you think they might need to fill? Like, do you think we need like more secondary antagonists? Maybe do you think Brainiac needs henchmen? I don't know. Like, is there anything missing there that you'd want to see?
I don't think so. I think this is a stacked cast. I think it's a case of like a lot of these characters are going to have very small roles outside of Superman, Lex, and Brainiac, and then to a much lesser extent, Lois Lane, Maxima, and the Justice Gang, all of that stuff. So yeah, I don't think. Yeah.
Yeah, it could just be that like who said it in the chat? As far as Andre Arroyo, who he's playing, it could just be a member of Luthor's staff or somebody at the Daily Planet, like like a smaller role. Yeah. All right, cool. Let's keep going though, John, because now we got to talk about the photo that lit up the internet today. The photo that James Gunn posted. Thank you, Justin Geek Guy. No, absolutely. I am so grateful that we're getting Brainiac. It's been like almost 50 years since Superman movies have been made, and for the first time we're getting a Superman movie with a villain that's not Lex Luthor or General Zod. Even though Lex Luthor was in the movie. Speaking of John, the Watcher was saying he's got a ton of Easter eggs he can drop for us. So Watcher, go right on ahead. We would love to talk about this. In fact, John, did you find any Easter eggs in this photo? James Gunn posting from the set of Man of Tomorrow saying it's shooting now. That's what we were expecting to happen. Peter Safran mentioned it at CinemaCon. They are in production on the movie. You do see a badge there for Alexander Luthor, inmate VKP 182736 at the Van Krol Department of Corrections. And then you get to see the slate for Man of Tomorrow in the distance and some ruffles on the side with a chessboard. Chessboard. Is that a Checkmate reference? I don't know, John. There's so much to talk about here. What do you see in this picture and what stuck out to you?
I think it's just the idea of like Superman and Lex playing chess. I think that's pretty cool because that's definitely something they've done together in the comics when Lex is in prison. So, yeah, and then obviously we'll get into the logo that's in the background. But I mean, this person is like, oh, if the Black Pawn takes, I'm like, I'm not paying it. It's just we get a chessboard. I think the most that we have that logo. We have the fact that like Lex is still in prison, and this chessboard is either he's playing with Superman or he's playing with Rick Flag Sr. Those are my two guesses, because him and Rick Flag Sr. are like apparently best buds now. So. Yeah.
Yeah. Is this a new prison? I mean, we haven't have you seen Van Krol? I don't know if we have seen Van Krol in live action before.
I don't think so.
Yeah. Okay, so let's keep going though, because this is the photo that kind of kicked off the conversation. But then if you notice in the far end of this, there's a slate for the movie that's sitting on top of a box or some kind. Obviously the internet went in and did a number on that. Yeah, to Checkmate, I feel like this is an Easter egg for Checkmate, the checkerboard. But John, if you go to the next link, that will show us the potentially what the logo looks like. Like they did a mock-up of this at DC Film News, and then of course if you zoomed into the logo on the slate, kind of like a Batman v Superman idea where you just impose the images on top of each other. What do you think about?
It won't let me fucking click on this.
What do you think about this as a logo for Man of Tomorrow?
I don't know why it won't let me click on it, but yeah, no, it looks good. I like that. Like very simplistic, very nice. It works.
Yeah, it kind of does go to show you that this movie, it feels like Brainiac is gonna have a obviously a significant presence in the film, but also maybe there's some symbology here beyond just Brainiac. Maybe the three pivots of the movie are Superman, Lex Luthor, and Brainiac. There's three dots, and then the House of L is in the center of it all. So yeah, it's the Brainiac logo but upside down. The Checkmate Easter egg, could it involve Amanda Waller? I wouldn't, I would not be surprised. Well, actually, I would be surprised, but at the same time, not surprised if this movie was the grand return of Amanda Waller to the DCU somehow, with Viola Davis, but I I don't know, like her show is still in development, so I don't know what they're doing. Yeah, he did flip it. So John, this is obviously the logo upside down. The Brainiac logo usually is like a V, right? This looks more like a A if you look at the three dots. So yeah. And then if you go to the next photo, I wanted to get, because people were going in and trying to like play with the image itself. It looks like somebody took it, kind of stretched it out, and then maybe use some AI, because this logo looks a little less like the actual Superman crest from the movie, but has like the S is a little more curvy in the middle.
Mm-hmm.
But it's a nice approximation. And actually, if you go to the next one after this, that feels like the more accurate reflection of what that slate says, that's the Superman logo with the Brainiac symbol superimposed. So yeah.
Because it makes more sense because it's a three-sided, it's a triangular crest. So it makes sense that it's like kind of like that, and then the Brainiac logo is kind of like that, like a star almost. So I think that's...
Like, is it a Brainiac 5 reference, or is it just simply a design thing?
I think it's a Brainiac reference. So
Brainiac 5 reference, I should say. Obviously, that's what I mean. Because it is flipped. Like technically, usually when you see that Brainiac logo by itself, it's flipped upside down from what you see here.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I mean, it could be tying into the Legion. I don't think the Legion is going to be a part of the conversation anytime soon, because you got to introduce Brainiac first, and we've talked about before how Supergirl could travel into the future down the road, but that's probably a while from now. That trailer will hit like crack, but don't worry, we're not getting it for probably another year. They just started shooting the movie, But John, speaking of the corrections facility badge. Remember how we talked about a while ago? There was a rumor that James Gunn was going to film in Georgia, which is where they're starting to film, a big prison break scene at the beginning of the production, which means precisely this week, if that rumor was correct, which it feels like it might be, they might be starting filming this movie by shooting the big prison break scene. It's not unprecedented in the past, James Gunn. Usually for movies of this scale, sometimes you get the really big action set piece out of the way early. And because that involves a bunch of special logistics and all the moving pieces, so I wouldn't be surprised if that were the case. Apparently, there would be literally 1,000 extras on set for that, and now it looks like somebody went and did some photography, and John, we have a photo, at least of what the prison that Lex Luthor, the Van Kroll Department of Corrections, the Van Kroll Penitentiary, I should say, looks like, because you see here they've been prepping this location. You see it from a distance in the bottom image, and it looks like at the top there's a sign, Van Kroll Penitentiary Department of Corrections established. I want to say that says 1902. This looks like it's in Georgia. Your thoughts on this look? Very big, very majestic. Obviously a real building, real location. The cinematographer for this movie is different than Superman. Your thoughts on how all of these pieces might fit together? Like, what are you expecting from the cinematography, the prison break scene? Do you care to speculate on the story at all of like how this starts? Is Lex Luthor breaking out, or is Superman helping him? Like, what do you think is going on here? Or are we just going to visit Lex in prison?
Yeah, I think, it seems like there is going to be a lot of prep of like eventually getting there to Brainiac. So I'm sure that like Superman's going to visit him in prison, probably Rick Flag Sr. as well. I mean, he already did, so that makes sense. Maybe even Lois Lane to do a story. Who knows? But I think I think there's that. I think like all that kind of thing is like there's going to be a lot of prep for that first act, kind of consequences of everything. So
yeah,
we'll see.
Well, hopefully we don't get less photos this time around from the set, because we're on Bulge Watch this summer. We want the Bulge Watch to have a lot of fodder, cannon fodder. So we know they're filming in Ohio again, so hopefully we'll get some photos from that. But the Watcher saying, I've heard Gunn is going to recreate the exact same prison scene from All-Star Superman in the movie. Care to comment on that, John?
So wait, so yeah, it's okay. Recreate. I mean, we've been hearing that in terms of recreating the All-Star Superman prison scene. I mean, it's no. I mean,
it lines up with like.
I mean,
Rick
it's so
Flag's been
obvious
doing,
that like he's so inspired by All-Star Superman that like
Yeah.
he's probably gonna keep using those. He's gonna keep using that as referential material. So yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. Would I be surprised to see if that's how they introduce Maxima? Because like that would be interesting if she's already locked up in one of the correction facilities, like for metahumans. Although Rick Flag Sr. has been throwing people onto that planet, right? So maybe that's just where he's now started to throw people. So I don't know. It would be interesting to see if we do have metahumans. The last time we saw like a big prison break sequence in any comic book movie, I feel like it was Deadpool 2. With Cable and Deadpool breaking out, and then of course there was the first Guardians movie.
I think it'll be more official than that.
Yeah.
I think it'll be more like, like Superman's gonna try and fight Brainiac, but Brainiac's too smart, and he's like, "Fuck, I need Lex Luthor for this one." So that's essentially what I think is gonna happen.
Do you think they're gonna revisit the whole Brain versus Brawn thing that they did at the end of Superman?
Yeah, probably.
Brain beats Brawn. Well, I would love to see a reference. Well, I guess you needed the brain because Braun doesn't do it. I don't know. Like Lex Luthor probably like throws some I don't know, like some insult at Superman, whatever. But anyway, it looks like we know where they're gonna be filming, at least the exteriors for that prison scene. We also know that they're now filming and Van Kull Penitentiary, the Department of Corrections, is where Lex Luthor is being held. So yeah. That's just a lot of good information. I'm sure we're gonna get more set photos, and we'll be talking all about it all summer long, man. And tomorrow, Bulge Watch is on. They are filming part of the movie in Ohio. They got the tax credit, the same tax credit that they got for Superman. So, any photos that come out, we will analyze the shit out of it, as the technical term goes. But before we finish up, of course, it is the 500th episode of DCU Daily, so we want to do a special of course, Q&A session. We also recently crossed the 100,000 subscriber mark, so YouTube sent us a little plaque for that. So yeah. The Watcher saying the scene will have led protecting Clark. Oh, my Siri's going off. Because remember, Clark can reveal his identity.
I think they meant Lex, but they spelled it wrong. Yeah.
Lex protecting Clark. Okay. Ooh. All right. Well, I mean, I hope it's sick. I bet you most of that is being shot on a soundstage, so we won't get to see it. But all right. Hey, John, as I mentioned earlier at this top of the show, we are going to wrap things up with a Q&A session. I put out a call for you guys to drop us some comments and questions earlier in the day, and you did. So Victory Mine is Q&A time. Let's get into it. We got a few of them here. Monique, if you're still watching, you sent us a couple of comments, and we'll start with one of yours. Your question was, if I could cook for the Oh So Curious crew, what would you want me to cook? John, what would you want Monique to cook for you?
What's my budget? That's the first question I asked back. What's my budget?
Just
if it's endless, I'm gonna go full last meal at Mythical Kitchen on your ass. That's my question back.
Let's presume that it's a modestly or decently sized meal. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. But what would you like?
I would say probably like a decent sized steak with like maybe like a potato side, and then maybe like a salad or something for like an appetizer, maybe like nice dessert. Maybe like maybe like a cheesecake or something, like a chocolate cheesecake. That would probably be good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Something like that.
Monique said
with
anything.
Plenty of Dr. Pepper, by the way.
Well, Monique doesn't have to make that. We could just get that off the store shelves.
Ooh, if it's anything.
She did say anything.
To think about it a little bit more if that's the case. I don't know. I'd probably get like because there's so many quote unquote culture, like Americanized cultured food. But like I do like, I like Mexican food. I like some Japanese food.
Yeah.
Italian, obviously, some Indian food. So, I like a little bit of whole bunch of stuff. So I would want like a culturally diverse meal. That would probably be good.
Okay. This is what happens when you ask John for the world. He will, or when you ask John a question.
If the world is my oyster, I'm gonna take the pearl. All right, like I'm gonna.
Fair enough.
So
we did actually. John and I did have lunch together. John came down for an event where I am, and yeah, we had lunch together a while ago. Chicken cassoulet. Okay, nice. I would like to see if Monique can whip us up some barbecue. I'd like to see what she can.
Ooh, barbecue would be good.
Barbecue with like a nice salad of some kind. I don't know. That sounds like a reasonable request. The Watcher saying, well, Lex says, Mr. Ken, I know you look up to me and see me as an icon. As I almost certainly am, but I'm interested in you trying to mooch off my fame and glory to give you the front page. So to you, I just say, good day, Mr. Kent. Good day. Thank you, Watcher, for that. I'm sure there'll be all kind. You know what I expect, John? I expect the vibe between Superman and Lex Luthor. I don't actually. You know what? I only half expect it. I don't think this is where they're going. I would love to see a Hobbs and Shaw-esque vibe.
I want to see him gay. I want to just see Lex get his back blown out by Superman, because at that point, that's the only way they're going. Like this is not a Quentin Tarantino movie. Let's be honest. That's not where we're going with. Well, yeah, because there's not enough feet in it, so of course we know it's not a Quentin Tarantino movie.
Monique got us covered with barbecue. Thank you, Monique. I feel like that's a reasonable request, and that also gives you lots of options to work with. I do also hope that we get a Batman cameo in Clayface, but the only thing is, James Gunn has been very clear that he will not want to have a Batman cameo with like an actor that they cast for the role in the DCU ahead of Batman's own movie, and clearly we're getting Clayface before Batman. You might get a reference in a dialogue, sequence, or like in passing by one of the characters, or in the news clipping or something. But I don't think they're gonna like give us a proper Batman cameo, or Bruce Wayne for that matter. But yeah, Baked Alaska. Okay,
Jesus,
Alaska
I've never had
amazing.
Baked Alaska, so.
I will take that. That sounds amazing. Maybe we'll have to figure that out sometime, if we are down in your way where you are, Monique. But that sounds delicious. Anyway, Lex didn't seem to enjoy the activities in the cell next to his John. Is that from that's a Peacemaker season 2 reference, right?
Yeah.
The Watcher got a commercial only to come back and hear John say, "There's not enough feet in it."
Yeah, that's what? Well, because there was a Quentin, because we're talking about Quentin Tarantino,
right?
And the thing is, Superman is definitely not a Quentin Tarantino movie because there's not enough feet in it. So,
yeah, true, facts. Yeah, we'll probably get a name drop or shout out. Exactly. At most, we're probably gonna get a Batman name drop, or Bruce Wayne, something, Wayne Enterprises, something like that. I even in the set decoration, I think we saw some of that on the set photos for Clayface. I don't think we're gonna get like a Sean Gunn-esque cameo like we got in Superman. That's probably too much to ask because they haven't cast the role yet. That would be very unexpected if that happened in Clayface. But anyway, let's go to the next one. So in this Q&A session, Fiona dropped us an interesting question. She's, of course, a member on the channel, so thank you, Fiona. I'm also very partial to her questions, but she said, which was the better game, Mortal Kombat or Street Fighter? Very broad question, John. Do you have a preference?
I mean... What Mortal Kombat, what Street Fighter are we talking about? We talking about Mortal Kombat.
I know, it's a very wild question.
The original, very Street Fighter 2, the original. We talking about like all the sequels, all the sub-sequels, this, that, and the other thing.
Mortal
Kombat. The thing is about Mortal Kombat, I have never played a single Mortal Kombat game. I've played the original Street Fighter 2 on SNES, so I'll say that because... That's the only one I've played in terms of... I have not played a single Mortal Kombat game, and the only Street Fighter game I have ever played is Street Fighter 2 on the Super Nintendo. So,
I will say, as a game, I prefer Street Fighter. It's just more fun for me, personally. And again, making a generic statement, because we're not talking about specific versions of the games. It's a very wide-ranging question Fiona asks here, but Monique saying she's a Princess Fiona. I get it right. Yeah, she is Princess Fiona. She is Queen Fiona for me. But anyway, it looks like Enterprising prefers Mortal Kombat. Stacy prefers Street Fighter. The Watcher says Street Fighter wins in every area in his opinion. So yeah. No, yeah, I mean the digital video transfer from the 90s don't really hold up as much. You have to kind of do a proper remaster. The DC versus Mortal Kombat game, actually I have played that. I did enjoy that one. That was good. Yeah. Just I prefer Street Fighter if you're talking just the games. If we're talking the movies,
I will say if I had to pick just from an aesthetic point of view, I do prefer the more cartoony nature of Street Fighter. I never liked the digitized actors vibe from Mortal Kombat. It always looked kind of clunky to me. Well, you know, Street Fighter, like there was like a fluidity to it, like it didn't try to be realistic, so I appreciated that as well.
Yeah. I also, by the way, I think Mortal Kombat 2 is going to be the better movie of the two this year versus Street Fighter, but they both look like a lot of fun. So MTG says Mortal Kombat was his preference, that the finishing moves are peak. Some of the whole like the fatality or like get over here, like it's iconic, right? It's kind of hard. It's kind of like choosing between your two children. It's like on some level I enjoy both. Monique saying Mortal Kombat because the arcade one was in better shape at the arcade I played. Oh, that's
yeah, because more
fair.
people were probably playing the Street Fighter one, so it wore out quicker.
Yeah. Well, that means Monique prefers Mortal Kombat. Eric saying Street Fighter 6 never played but loved the art style. Nice. I've been to Applebee's years ago, Stacy, not in a while. The Street Fighter does look fun, and I don't think anybody wants a Harold and Kumar sequel. The world building in Street Fighter is almost like a comic book universe, whereas Mortal Kombat 2, you take Scorpion and Sub-Zero away. Mortal Kombat is pretty shallow. I like to play with Johnny Cage but like, I mean, come on, Scorpion is like just also always the funnest character to play in my opinion. But Street Fighter is also more 4-quadrant, where MK felt more taboo and niche. Yeah, all true things. Great conversation. Thank you for that question, Fiona. Of course, we love the questions. And we got another one from Monique, John. So here we go. When will we see John's spoiled pup princess on camera? This one's specifically for you.
If I ever film downstairs, because she's usually not upstairs, so maybe eventually, but not right now.
Okay, well, we hope to get to see her soon. I've seen photos and I've seen video. I think you might have shown me a video or two of her as well, but I know that the folks on the channel want to see her. So, anyway, Masters of the Universe does look amazing. That I love the marketing for that movie so far. It feels like the perfect mix of meta commentary on the franchise while leaning into the over-the-top craziness that it comes with. All good, Stacy. Thank you for being in the chat and saying engaged.
She's a mutt.
But she's a mutt.
By the way, she's a mutt.
There we go. Well, Tony is not with us live because he's not been feeling well for a while, but he has been catching up on our shows, and then he leaves us, his thoughts on pretty much every segment. So I just wanted to take a piece of what he said. He left us a couple of comments from last week. He was saying, sorry that you were feeling sick, Dan. I was not well for a part of last week. And then Tony went on to say, I don't know if I'm ever going to get better and be on late with everyone again. This is by far the worst health crisis I have had to deal with. Watching the shows at least brings me some happiness. And then he went on to say other things. I just want to pick that one section to say, hey Tony, we miss you, but we also appreciate that your health comes first, and we hope that you're on the mend. And we appreciate the comments, and just letting you know, we read them and we see them, and we appreciate you. So everybody here, please wish Tony to get well soon. Of course, we hope to see him back in the live chat soon enough, and then we'll try to do some earlier shows and see if Tony can join us a little bit earlier in the evening. So feel better soon, Tony. Monique says, Stacy also giving you her best wishes to best of health and recovery. Enterprising also wishing you the best, and Dark Elite Eric is doing the same. So feel better, Tony. We'll hopefully see you back in a live show soon. And until then, I'm sure you'll be watching this later. So leave us a comment down below like you usually do, and we'll get back to you. So this one is the last comment of the Q&A session, John, and it's a very simple one from the Watcher. It's in reference to our Fancast Friday from last week, and it's when we were casting Emma Frost for the MCU, and the Watcher simply said, Sydney Sweeney. Enough said.
Just because she's a hot blonde with big tits doesn't mean she automatically should be Emma Frost. By that logic, make Kate Upton Emma Frost. Kate Upton can't fucking act. Doesn't mean she should be Emma Frost. I'm just saying. So, no. Sydney Sweeney should not be Emma Frost. I know that was like some rumor that they were looking at her, but no, it's wrong. It's stupid. The thing is, I like Sydney Sweeney. I think she's a pretty good actress. I think she's done good work. But like at the same time, it's like, can we stop fucking casting her as fucking every like white blonde character? Like, come on. Like, it's just I'm getting sick of it. There are other actresses. There are other much better actresses that can handle this. That's why I didn't even bother picking her, because I don't think she would make a good Emma Frost.
Right.
So, yeah, like, guys, come on. Get your heads out of your ass.
Sydney Sweeney would look the part. If she's also a great actress, but I don't know. I mean, that rumor was from like My Time to Shine, and obviously she's already played. Was she Black Cat, or was she like Spider Woman or something?
She was like a Spider Woman in the Madam Web. Yeah. I think she would be good as Black Cat, but yeah. No.
Eric is like, John, hear me out. Stephanie Brown
and Elite Easy then says JK. Yeah, no Stephanie Brown. I think if there were any characters that Sydney Sweeney should play, are either Power Girl or Black Canary. I think those are ones where she would be good at. I think her acting ability would fit those the best, but no. The thing is,
the Watcher disagrees.
Yeah, but the thing is, Emma Frost isn't just sex appeal. That's the thing. It's just like, oh, a sexy chick. Like, there's more to these characters than just. Don't get me wrong, Emma Frost's sex appeal is a big part of her character. Yes, but that's not the only thing. There's a sense of class and a sense of regality and a sense of royalty to Emma Frost that Sydney Sweeney simply does not have as an actress, and she does not have the range as an actress to deal with that. I think someone like Rosamund Pike, Claire Foy, Charlize Theron, even though she's already Clea, would make much better Emma Frosts than Sydney Sweeney would ever. It's just, yeah, like, the X-Men are going to be young, but Emma Frost is an older character. Like, she's more of like a leader mentor character to X-Men than, not. Or just, here's an idea, fucking get a nobody. Get someone who is not known at all. Like, literally every person I know who is a big X-Men fan who heard the rumor is like, fuck no, she would make a terrible Emma Frost. Terrible. She does not fit. She does not have the I don't think she even has the look like necessary. Like, she doesn't have like
professional
the kind of snobbish attitude like needed, and she doesn't have the class. She doesn't have the royal aura of it all to really make Emma Frost properly work. She's a good actress. She's not a great one though. She kind of says this. She has like the same kind of tone in every kind of one of her movies. Like, she has the same voice. Yeah,
well,
I think Black Cat, Power Girl, and Black Canary would be good.
But John, did you see, like, because she put out like 4 movies last year? Did you see any of them? Like, or
I've seen bits and pieces. I saw like some of her work, and I do think she's a good actress. I'm not one of these people like, oh, like I don't like have a hate boner for her because of like, oh, the jeans ad, she's a white supremacist. Like, okay, like, sure. Jan.
That was an exaggeration. That's not what that was intended for. But like,
no, I know, but people are fucking stupid and they take it that way. Yeah. So
Power Girl, by the way, we did cast her as Power Girl in Fancast.
Yeah, so I think she's a good actress. I just don't. Yeah. I can't see it. I can't see it, but here's the thing. This is what I always say. this is what I always say. If she was cast tomorrow, I'd say, prove me wrong. Prove me wrong. That's the thing I always say is, I don't think you're right for this role. Prove me wrong. That's what I said to Millie Alcock. I don't see her in the role, but I've also never seen her movies or her shows, so I don't know how good of an actress she is.
Yeah.
I'd say prove me wrong. So that's what I always say. Prove me wrong when it's either, oh, I think they're perfect, or prove me wrong. Those are the two things. I never am like, oh, this person's going to do terribly. I just say prove me wrong. And then I will watch the movie and then judge the movie. And if they couldn't do it, then I say, you know what? I was right. I'm sorry, but your performance did not fit this character. So,
yeah. I mean, you know what? And most of the time, these castings, if they do make that, decision, they do it with keeping in mind the version of the character they're going to be giving us. Glenn Powell as Popeye, sure. If they ever make a live action Popeye, Glenn Powell as Green Goblin looks like a great Photoshop or generative AI idea. I don't know whether that would work as a movie though. Glenn Powell probably too big to just take on that role of that kind at this point as a star. Thank you for the congratulations. It is DCU Daily number 500 today, so thank you for that, Stacy. Give John his own production company. I'm sure John already has one. Like, don't you have like a label that you use for your own work or something?
No, I just have a channel. That's all.
All right. Well, we'll work our way. I mean, you have ideas for movies. I'm sure we'll. One day, maybe you'll be selling your next pitch to Clockwork at Warner Brothers, like Sean Baker did for Tiamo. Is she gonna be in Gundam? I forget. Is Sydney Sweeney in Gundam? I don't know. Like the upcoming thing. Is she involved with that? I don't know if I remember that. But hey, we'll see. She's gonna be in the Housemaid sequel, so we know Sydney Sweeney's got that going, and she's probably gonna be in a few other movies. She's already done the superhero genre once, so yeah. But hey, that's all we got for you guys on DCU Daily today. DCU Daily number 500. It has been a long show, and we'll be back tomorrow with DCU Daily and Tier List Tuesday. John, what are we reviewing? Sorry, what are we tier listing tomorrow? Is it what was that? Did you say it was like some guy from
Steven
Norway? Grebleeps
Spielberg.
Okay. All right,
no, I'm not gonna do a bit. Steven Spielberg. Not doing a bit. Steven Spielberg. That's what it is.
Okay. She's the lead with Noah. Is Noah Centineo in that one too? In Gundam? God, that guy's in everything. Wow. I maybe we talked about it at one point. I don't know, but Sydney Sweeney in Gundam, I'm all for it. Jacob Simmons will probably be in Brand New Day, but probably in a very small role, and so they're not going to really give that away in the trailers unless to get like a final trailer. But yeah, he's most likely still in there. Yeah, we're talking about Steven Spielberg's movies. John, how many has he done? We talked about it, like 46 some odd movies. So we'll be ranking all of them.
Yeah, like 30 something probably. I don't know.
We're going to be here a while tomorrow. You guys let us know which movies you've seen. And, of course, tune in so you can help us with the tier list.
I actually have a list. I don't know where
you do? Okay.
Where did I put it? I had it right here. There it is.
What has that chap made? The goat has made pretty much everything you can imagine under the sun. So, yeah.
So, the movies that we will be doing are all right here. Is Duel, Sugarland Express, Jaws, Close Encounters of the Third Kind, 1941, Raiders of the Lost Ark, E.T., the Twilight Zone movie, his segment in the Twilight Zone movie,
right.
Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom, Color Purple, Empire of the Sun, Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade, Always, Hook, Jurassic Park, Schindler's List, Lost World, Jurassic Park, Amistad, Saving Private Ryan, AI, Artificial Intelligence, Minority Report, Catch Me If You Can, The Terminal, War of the Worlds, Munich, Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, Adventures of Tintin, War Horse, Lincoln, Bridge of Spies, The BFG, The Post, Ready Player One, West Side Story, and The Fabelmans. All in preparation for Disclosure Day.
Wow. Should we wait for Disclosure Day?
Which is coming out in 2 months.
We'll probably put Disclosure Day in S tier preemptively just for the sake of hell of it, because I feel like anytime he's done UFOs, Steven Spielberg has never not done an S tier movie. So yeah. No, I'm gonna go see Backrooms. I mean, John and I were talking about it. I actually am really, really curious about Backrooms. It looks really, really interesting, to say the least. Super Mario Galaxy is not a Spielberg movie, but Ready Player One is. So we'll talk about that. But anyway, that's going to be tomorrow on Tier List Tuesday. And before that, we'll have another DCU Daily. So it's going to be fun. Episode 501 of DCU Daily. And then followed up by Tier List Tuesday with Steven Spielberg movies. So, yeah. It will be a fun evening. But until then, guys, thank you for stopping by. Make sure to hit the like button on the way out. If you are new, definitely subscribe. We are here 5 days a week. And then we talk DC, we talk Marvel, we talk Star Wars and everything in between. Project Hail Mary, we glaze the heck out of it. Talk about the box office. So many things and all that and much more. Victory Mind, keeping DC hope alive. It will be fine. John walks a dog and gets a movie offer. What? Okay. All right. Well, peace out to everybody. Hit the notification bell so you know when we go live tomorrow. Until then, we will see you next time on another episode of DCU Daily.
It's another project that's been blessed from the beginning.
There's the shot right there. That.
Okay, we don't need to see
right there.
Hey, buddy. Eyes up here.
Now you want to get nuts?
Let's get nuts.
Here we go.
Victory mine. Ask me how am I doing? I'm telling you, really, I'm doing sublime. I never wait in a stewardess line. I just go do it. I'm moving my time. Really had nothing to do with it. How am I moving? I'm moving like you want to shine. Follow my lead. Don't listen to lies. I had to put me all in the line. That's why I know that victory's mine.
I prefer Jared Leto.
Hunka hunka.
Also, fuck Jeff Snyder, fuck Tom King, and fuck Crybaby Ellison.
Very poor choice of words.